Welcome everyone to today's live stream. Some more Planet Crafter with the Moons update actually inbound very quickly. So we are going to do some more Planet Crafter today, try to get the last bit we can prepared before the Moons update so it'll minimize how much I got to do to actually dig into the Moons update. So we got that going today. Real quick, want to go ahead and say hi with Timmy. Timmy gets his little treat like he usually gets because I got a couple things I want to kind of bring up to people's attention. Timmy, here's your snack. All right, I'm gonna put it right here, right there. You gonna get it? Fine, I'll put it right here in front of you. How about that? It's right in front of you. Now he's gonna lay on top of it. Okay, so he's not hungry at the moment. But there are a couple things I do want to mention before we get started real quick. So first up, if you hadn't seen it, Valve is not making a big deal about it, but Steam was breached. At what point? Can't say 100%. I haven't seen a definite time frame stated for it, but 89 million Steam accounts were compromised, and the information from those accounts is being sold currently on the dark web. So you need to change your password. And of course, recommended is beyond just changing the password, make sure you use a good password manager. Give yourself a quality password and enable the two-factor by Steam Mobile Authenticator if you choose to. If not, at least either the text or email something so you have a second aspect of it. But yeah, change your password. Steam info is out there, and 89 million accounts, that's very good likelihood you might have your account in there. So that was the first thing I just wanted to bring up, is you need to go change your Steam account password if you haven't done so recently. Next, I want to mention a game I've had on my wish list for a while. I've kind of been keeping an eye on it, called Foundry. It's a factory management style game. Think like Satisfactory kind of thing, but it's a robot manufacturing thing, and it gives you some different stuff, like being able to go trade with other places. I don't think you can necessarily travel to other worlds, but you can trade with other planets kind of thing. You've got a sales platform. It's voxel based, so think like Minecraft meets Satisfactory. You get to experience a voxel based world. It looks pretty good. You can already see right here, the cube styling for everything on certain stuff. But, you go out, you build big complex factories. You have little helper bots. You can play with friends. You see I got a little assembly line there of robot bodies. You got to drill. You go out, you harvest resources by yourself originally, or again, play with friends. So it is a destructible world. You can modify the landscape. You can see that Minecraft-ish type look to it. It looks interesting. And you can build transport ships to transport stuff between their places. It is early access. So it's not finished. But the reason I mention it is right now you can play it for free through the weekend. You've got a day and 23 hours left of free time to play it if you want to check it out without having to buy it. And if you decide you like it, going through May 22nd, you can actually get it for 50% off on the standard edition. That's normally $30. They got it for $15 right now, US. If you look here, you see there's Founders Edition. All that does is as a DLC with some extra cosmetics as you being the founder, but don't grab this. Not saying don't pay the extra money, but it's only 10% off for that. If you look here, you can actually get the Founders Edition upgrade for $5. So you could buy it for $15, and then for another $5, $20 total, get the same thing pretty much, other than instead of $31.50. So again, it is free to play right now through the weekend. If you want to check it out, it's just simply called Foundry, and you'll recognize it from the robot look. And again, if you like it, it's 50% off. Just one I wanted to kind of mention real quick, because I thought it'd be a good opportunity. Not often we get a time to play a game for free and see what we think about it. And then, of course, we've got what we're here today to get ready for. The Moons update comes out May 19th. Today is the 17th right now, for me at least. We're far enough ahead for somebody to already be on the 18th. But yeah, May 19th is going to be released. It does state here, and I know we talked about this last week, clarification on some things. You can continue with the current save file. It's just you have to complete the terraformation aspect of the planet. You can go from Prime to Humble, and from Humble to Prime, and to the Moons. So, you know, the fact that I chose to start with Prime means I still can go and play on Humble in the same game save. Once I finish the terraformation, levels on Prime. So you can go to the other planet. And we get 2 moons with this. Same thing, if you start on Humble, you just still have to unlock the travel rocket by terraforming Humble, and then you can go to that. You can play in co-op, but players do have to be on the same planet or moon at the same time. So if you're doing co-op, you have to be in the same playfield. And yeah, the terraforming does continue while you travel around. But it is a case of, yes, you can go from Prime to Humble, Humble to Prime. However, where is that? I want to double. There was a spot. Yeah. Again, if you have the Humble DLC, you can travel to Humble. So you can't go from Prime to Humble if you don't have the DLC. That was one of the things we were back and forth on for a good bit last week on the live stream. You do have to have the Humble DLC if you want to go to the Humble planet. It's not being included for free. If you started on Prime and you have another Humble save, you cannot merge them. You can't join them together. You basically pick one and go with that. And there you go. So yeah, that comes out on the 19th, which is Monday, 2 days from now. So we've got a lot to do today for preparation for that. And that not ready yet, so we'll do that. You got Foundry a few days ago. What do you think of it, Stitz? I'm gonna try it. I think if I have time later tonight and maybe a little bit tomorrow. It's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of factory management games, especially going like super crazy complex systems on it. Looking at some of those pictures just makes me cringe in terms of how the factory is like so many different conveyors and everything. I get it. There are people who like that. I feel like I can better spend that time and brain power doing other things that are more beneficial and productive. But, it's like, it appears to be the styling of Minecraft and destructible environment like Minecraft mixed with SAS Factory. And that's one thing I've always liked. I always wanted in SAS Factory was the destructible environment. Yes, there are obstacles you can destroy in SAS Factory, but we can't go dig a tunnel. And I did see somewhere on the Steam page for Foundry that there is you could dig tunnels to connect things. So, again, it's an opportunity to play it for free. I'm going to try to get some time if I can this weekend to play it a little bit, decide if I want to jump on grabbing it. It's 50% off. I mean, that's a great deal right there. Get it for a good, cheap price. Again, I'm not the biggest on factory management games, but it might be something fun to play, and just kind of dig into maybe after I get through with all the Moons stuff with Planet Crafter. And speaking of Planet Crafter, let's get rolling. So it should be, come on. OBS, we'll pick, there we go. So last time we got to the point I was starting to get liquid water. I had this was not quite full. It is now full. I've also got my first algae generators, and I have a bunch more power because I remembered something I always tend to forget, because I always think of rockets as that late game when I need to like just really massively boost my I just want to get a lot of rockets launched and just boost that terraformation growth. I never think of them for the resources because I spend more time launching rockets not for resources and just letting it kind of go. So I have already been launching a bunch of the 2 rockets, getting heat and pressure up, but mostly getting iridium because I needed more iridium than what I've been producing in the cave with the tier 1 to keep making rocket engines, because you need 9 pieces of iridium to make an iridium rod to make a rocket engine, and then I need 2 pieces of uranium for each rocket. So more iridium being consumed for the rockets than uranium, which left me uranium for power. So I should be pretty good on that. But we are going to do some more rockets today. You see, I went ahead and kind of expanded out. I do have the biolab. And I think, while I have decided I do want to kind of build over the water for my base in the end, I'm going to hold back on actually starting that build just yet. I want to get the terraformation going a lot higher first, because I want to do something with the vehicle. I want to make it where I could drive through the base with the vehicle, actually drive around. Just because I have, or in this game map, I've done it a little bit more in Humble, but not on Prime. Okay, I got all those, so we got some new stuff to build too. Tier 2, I don't have Tier 2 for that yet. But I did get the, lake water collector, and I do have, that was the generator, right? I did. Let me double check. That might be the water collector. I know I did something. Yeah, okay, water collector. I did those. I need to do the algae. That's what it was. I was like, I know I got algae. I'm going to do that next. I am out of super alloy. Okay, so just going to do it. Yeah, scoot over a little bit. Why did I? Oh, bioplastic nuggets. Nope, that's upstairs. Yeah. Oh, and I don't have mushrooms. I swear I had mushrooms. Oh, that's right. I got the mushrooms finally planted. Oh, yeah, I gotta wait a little bit. Okay, that will get that going. Did upgrade my heaters a bit. We've got some tier 4 drills available now, but I need osmium. A lot of osmium. I need production of osmium, so let's see how close I am to that. I'm at 364 needed, and I'm at 55. I say rocket time. It's not going to boost the oxygen, but the heat and pressure I can boost. So, oh, great. I'm out of aluminum. So, let's go get aluminum. Yeah, I need to get super alloy production, too. Aluminum is just not keeping up with the whole, tier 1 just randomizes a lot more than the others. Feels like tier 2, I think, gives a little bit more concentration on the actual target item than tier 1, but either way, I'm still getting, randomized. I like 2 aluminum compared to everything else. 2 aluminum there. 4! Alright, so I've got 8. Yeah, I need a tier 2 extractor so I can get osmium and super alloy at least somewhat started. And uranium. Then I don't have to worry so much about the rockets for that. I found if I stay in this area, I do pretty well. Most meteors land right through this area, a few spots through there, and then right over in there. I don't end up with that many landing in the water directly, so let's see. Oh wait, no, I need one more. Yep, because 2 rockets, 2 super alloy. Just because I want to make sure I had it. We'll do 1 of each. I don't even know what my count is. Yeah, I like buying games when it's a good deal, but I've still got games I've bought on a deal that I'm like, well, you know, I still haven't got around to playing them. I got them, they were good on sale, and it's a good deal, but it's not a good deal that I haven't played it yet, and I've just, you know, it's like I've got so many games on the free game of the week on Epic. Like, you know, Epic does 1 or 2 games free a week on their store. I tend to, for a while, I was getting whatever game it was. Like, no matter what, I would get the free game. Just so I'd be like, well, I got it. And then my library started to pile up and pile up. I was like, oh, yeah, this is... I can't find what I'm looking for because I really don't like Steam's or Epic's store interface. It's just not very polished, in my opinion. Steam is so much better. But I was like, I can't find the games I'm actually looking for. You know, I just gotta scroll and scroll and scroll, and it's just not an enjoyable experience. So I stopped getting every single game, and now I just get like the ones that look interesting. I've looked at Humble Bundle stuff before too, but you know, sometimes that's a case of you get some games that like, oh, I want this one and this one, but maybe not this one. You know? So I don't do that as much. Most of the games I have on my wish list are games that don't even have like a date for release now. Like just games I know at some point it's coming. Eventually the game will be available. And I just kind of, I have it sitting there. So eventually I'll see a date. Yeah, GOG, Galaxy Games. I do like their approach because you're actually buying the game. You know, Steam, you're buying it as long as you can still access your account. You're not really buying the game. There's like a weird gray area on how they do it. But, you know, you can go and ask for a key to activate it kind of thing. But, you know, GOG, you're really just actually getting the installer for the game. It's not through a client. You know, I've got a couple of games that I bought on GOG just for the fact that they are games, like old school games that I want to be able to play again. And they're like $5, you know, or less for the game. And surprisingly, you know, work fine on modern gaming or modern PCs. You know, there's one game I've got on Steam that you have to patch the thing with a third-party patch to make it even play on a modern PC because it won't run. If I download and install it now, it won't run. I have to go like Nessus Mods or someplace like that and find the patch and apply the patch to make the game playable, which is dumb. Like, why are you still selling it if you know, you're selling it knowing it's not playable by default, that somebody's going to have to go and literally download a patch from somewhere else in order to make it playable. Like, that's dishonest, if you ask me. And unfortunately, that's the way it's being done right now with that game, is it's being dishonest. But yeah, GOG, I buy games on there if it's something like just old school that I want, that I know I can still go play. I don't watch for the free games on there. I pretty much just watch for anything on Steam and Epic because it's for one, both of them are easy. I've already got set up on even my Steam Deck through can't remember the launcher, but there's a launcher you can get that is good for like Steam Deck and such, where Heroic Games launcher, that's it, because you can tie in your Epic account and stuff like that, and you can literally on the Steam Deck have it added into Steam, so it shows up as a game in Steam, even though it's not actually on your Steam library. And it's helpful because on my Steam Deck, that means I can just go and play some of these other games I would normally not play keyboard and mouse. But that's typically, you know, again, stuff I'm finding for free on Epic. There's too many stores you have to go to get the games, so I stick to mainly Steam and Epic for my games. Okay, I should have some more loot around here. It's my debris from the meteors is starting to despawn. I know I saw some come out in the water. I did a bunch of this since last time. So I was launching like 5 of each type of rocket at a time. I just go launch like, here's 10 rockets, and I just wait for the rockets or the storms to end, and then I would go like, okay, we give it time to let things despawn, run around and grab all the stuff. I got all the glowy stuff. Then do it again. Did not despawn fully over here yet. A lot of iridium ones over here, not so much of the uranium over here. A little bit kind of favoring the iridium meteors to land here. It's fine, I need both. Really, I just need the production boost right now. There we go. Oh yeah, I still have that spot over here too I need to go into. The little hidden cave that doesn't look like a cave. And you know, you find it. Now. Oh, and it's raining. Go get some oxygen. Yeah, games that you can't buy anymore. I mean, you know, there are games that have been taken off Steam, where if you already have them, they're on there, but you can't buy them anymore. No, I'm talking about like games that you, like, this is a known game with these issues that it's just all through the reviews that the game is no longer playable on modern PCs. You just have to go get a patch. So now there's most of the reviews now go and say, for those of you having problems, go and get this patch, you know, install it, and the game will work fine. It is a fun game. It's Prototype 2. I played the first one originally on Xbox 360, clarify the age of the Xbox, and I just loved it. It's kind of like for the abilities you get in the game. You know, I look at the new Spider-Man games where you're like shooting the, you know, the web, you're like swinging around. I like, that just makes me think of that game when I see that, because it's basically a very similar play style, except you get special abilities. It's like, I remember there was a Venom game years ago. I want to say Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64 may have one too. If I remember one, it was like you had special abilities, being Venom, you know, the character, to create like a shield with the symbiote, stuff like that. It was interesting, but it wasn't like swinging around, you know, it was like a 2D scroller. But it's kind of like somebody said, hey, let's use Venom. Let's do a Venom game, and that got ditched because the powers that be did not want a license for Venom, so they came up with an idea for something else. But a similar kind of vibe in that you got abilities like Venom would have in the games. And it's fun. You know, it's a fun game, so I got Prototype 2, and Prototype 2 on PC will not play on modern PCs. You have to patch it to make it playable on a modern PC, which is just astounding. That is like, again, it's a known issue, and they still have it listed for sale without anything being updated for that. And hey, Jenny, I did see your thing. I was just, you know, talking about the game. Let's see. How far was that? That's 360. We're in like 20 minutes, and I've made like that much. Yeah, we can launch some more. I just need super alloy. And I need aluminum for that. Everything else I'm fine. It's the aluminum I'm burning through too much. We'll check this. I also have a single sulfur extractor going right now, but I'm not so worried about that because there's only a few times I've had to use sulfur, which was to make the explosive powder for the tier 2 uranium reactor or nuclear reactor. So 10. Another 10. What? Check. Yep, there we go. Okay, yeah, I will not buy another Yeti mic. Let me say that. The cable, the plug on it is so, like, picky. Like, just the tiniest bump on the cable, and it just cuts the microphone out. It just completely disconnects it. Like, it has to sit in just the right spot. And my cable is not, like, constantly unplugging or anything. I've got it literally wrapped and strapped down to the arm here. So, it's not like I've worn out the plug. It's just the plug has, from day one, been loose. And it's just getting where it's like now I can barely even tap it and it just cuts out. Yeah, if I get another mic, I'm gonna get me a proper setup with an XLR that locks in, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, got some food and I have got some mushrooms. Let's go up here and make nuggets. I think it was just the one that I needed for that. Yep, and of course I need super alloy that I'm out of. That's what I did. I used up one super alloy for that. There we go. That will help. So that's 12. That leaves me 10. And I use 2 each. So that's 4. I mean, use that leaves me 6. So that's 4 used up there. Right? That leaves 8. Yep, they're perfect. So, not getting a lot of silicon. It seems. No. Mic is too old. At this point, I don't think the warranty is going to be covering it because I've had it for years. Plus, it's just, you know, don't buy a USB mic. It's not a good combination because the cable wearing, you know, or the plug wearing. It's just too easy. XLR, I originally was using XLR mics with an interface, but it was an old interface. At this point, I don't know if I can get proper drivers to work with it. So I would have to buy a new audio interface, which is not that bad. You buy a good audio interface, you know, 1 or 2, or buy like one of the little ones that's like the audio, like this Stream Deck has one that has like the mic input on it, so it's its own little preamp audio interface. Main thing is get a microphone that does XLR, because the XLR has a lock to help lock it in on the microphone side, and it means you bump the cable, it's not gonna matter because it's literally locked in and gonna help keep it secure. Alright, so I've got, that was the first round. We got round number 2. Should be starting. Yeah, come on. Didn't take this long. What? I launched 4 rockets. I know I did, because they wiggled into each other and went into the water. There we go. Okay, that took longer than typical. Oh, it did not launch all of my rockets. I thought it launched the last one. It did not. Oh. Cable, I probably could, you know, see about a replacement cable. Again, it's not really so much the cable as the plug. Like, it wiggles in the plug too much. And it's just that tiny little tap, you know, on it causes it. And it's like the little micro USB. Yeah, USB micro is what the connector is on this side. And it's got just enough wiggle room that if I hit it the wrong way, it cuts. And you know, from where my cable runs, I'd have to order a longer cable. If I'm going to order something, I'm just going to order an interface and a microphone when the time comes. While I wait, I'm going to do a vehicle. Well, I got the vehicle station. Of course, I need to make some rockets. Because, you know, it's rocket powered. Make a vehicle. This will not help me as far as I will not have any oxygen. I'm not going to worry about the speed or, you know, really, honestly, I probably shouldn't have to worry about anything of that anyway, because that's my storage right now. And I'm stacking, so yeah, I can use that to carry some extra stuff from faraway places if I get to the point that stuff's producing that fast. Let's see, it still doesn't feel like it's going up that much, so heat, I'll have enough after this. Yeah, we can do 2 more. Or 1, apparently, because I'm out of aluminum again. You know what, let me wait. I'm waiting for this last storm to begin, at least. Coming up on the mossy stage. And I'm gonna do, well, I can't really do those because I need a lot of super alloy. That's why I need some tier 2 extractors going. I get the bigger drills kind of up and running. So, while we wait for this last storm. Yeah, what I'm thinking is, again, I want to build over the water. More room, it's a flat space, I can control the area better, I don't have to worry about terrain avoidance. I just build out over the water, and it gives me access to the water resources for my production. What I want to do is to have like a road type approach. Well, I'm going to have the vehicle set up where I want to have it where I can drive the vehicle out. And then, because, okay, we're going to have animals at some point, I want to turn like this little area here kind of into maybe the animal sanctuary or type of thing or whatever. And then maybe up here is my rocket launching setup or something like that for launching the rockets. Then we'll have the trade rockets and such way over there to kind of cut down on the noise. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I like the idea of that because it gives me a good balance of everything. And I can put animals where they won't be in my way, but they're close enough that I can have the food automated without it using up a bunch of drone time. Yeah, I don't like using USB extensions. I already have had to do that, and it ends up just being, you got an extra point of failure. So, you know, instead of having one cable that could go bad, you have two cables that could possibly go bad. Now you gotta figure out which cable it is. And so, yeah, I typically stick with just the one cable in the end. That way it's, you know, yeah, if I gotta do it, I order a spare always. I have to go look and see if I still have a spare for this. I don't know if I actually did order a spare at that time. Generally, if I gotta order a long cable, I order a spare with it, just so I have an extra one. It's not a pressing thing, you know. Again, I typically don't hit the microphone. I try to avoid it. Part of the reason of having the arm is just a case of the way the cable is. It does need a little bit of slack here, so it's not pulled super tight. Because if it's too tight, it makes it worse. It ends up getting, you know, just sitting there, it'll wiggle its way out of place. Oh, no, let me just put that there because what was it I needed? I need aluminum for something. I got that. What was it? I already forgot. Oh yeah, I got flower spreaders. I could do that to help too, but that's still, I need, well, I got seeds. That's moving fairly quickly. I still need to get some more drills out though. Now I do have aluminum. Put 2 more out. Before I launch any more, I'm gonna go ahead and try to grab the resources. Just so I have some stuff. I hear another storm, and that's got to be a non-meteor, or at least non-triggered meteor. I didn't do it. May just be a windy storm. Where is it? There we go. Usually have some right here. Like, you know, it's always good when you're gonna launch rockets for resources. You don't just launch them, you know, and I mean, it used to be I would sit there at the launching pad once you get the, you know, oxygen. You want to pick a consistent spot. Ideally, if you're launching next to your base, pick a spot in your base. It just makes it easier because you can know if you're in this location, this is the area the meteors are going to strike, and it makes it easier to find everything if you're actually trying to gather up the supplies. You start running around while the meteors are being triggered, the events trigger, and they're going to go all over the place. And then you're going to have a really fun time going and collecting everything. There's some there too. I think I can make this quickly enough. From there, I may have to cycle back to get some of this. Ooh. Oh, and yep, I see it hiding in the rock. I can get it. Yeah, I need to go back after this. Okay. Yeah, that should be all of it. Yes, come on. Get out of the water so I can use my jetpack. Yes, oxygen level critical. I know this. I'm going shallow breath. Hold it in. I'm not gonna make it. Nope, I'm dead. Yeah. Let's see how there. That's how close I was. I thought I would make it. I did not. Okay. I still got this other direction to go. Okay, right now, I'm just trying to get some resources going and get levels up. That's the big thing, is trying to get the levels to speed up, because I want my tier 2 extractor. Once I get that, we'll just start really building out the extractors, and that will give me osmium, uranium, and super alloy right off the bat. They'll just start producing that set of resources, which is where I'm kind of, you know, running into availability problems at the moment. Too bad we don't have like a super alloy storm or rocket that I can launch to trigger super alloy. Let me grab that because I am kind of getting very little silicon. Just one little piece won't hurt in town. Let me check in here, because yeah, seeing some right next to the water means there's some in the water. Okay, probably not in here, but yeah, take a look. Ah, no, we got some here. And yeah, there's the golden crate. Still gonna hold off on grabbing those till the very end of this. And why this is still not completely fixed, where you get to that point that you can't collect them through the water surface. I mean, it's better than early access, but it's still not properly fixed. It's still a problem. Well, you know, if you want to continue a save on Monday, you can. Technically, I could go and continue my last save, the one on Humble, and do that. I just, you know, in the end, I like the mechanics on this planet better, the original one, because, again, I have control. I need more uranium. I go set up stuff for more uranium. Humble, you get that RNG factor of I set up more production for this and it goes in the crusher, and now I am relying on RNG to favor uranium specifically rather than iridium, you know, and so forth. So I just like the mechanics on this. That means once I actually, since I do have the Humble DLC, can go to the Humble planet, we get done with this and I decide to go to the Humble planet, hey, it's all right. I'll have plenty of resources being produced here. I am kind of interested to see how they handle it, you know. That's one of those things like SAS Factory. That could have been totally a thing, you know. They could do a DLC for SAS Factory where you get another planet to go to, or a moon, and make it, you know, for veteran players. They can make it as a new starting point, start over if you want on this new planet with a new map, or take your existing save and then travel to the new planet. You know, they could do that same thing with SAS Factory. The question there becomes, how do you implement it in, like, say, SAS Factory? How would they implement it? Well, SAS Factory, the mechanic is you are sending resources up to a space station. Space station, or orbital platform. I don't think they ever called it a proper space station, but orbital platform through a space elevator. So you know, load stuff up, it goes up this elevator to the platform. Here we don't have that. Here we're using the rocket mechanic. So here, obviously, we're going to use a rocket. They already even said anything, the travel rocket. If I do that travel rocket, is it a two-way trip? Like, if I launch to the other planet, yes, I've already unlocked the travel rocket in my tech, and I go to the other planet, I've already unlocked all my tech. But, like, you know, it's still a rocket. You know, the trade rockets are two-way trip. They go up, they come back down. But that's a, you know, we're launching them, we're assuming they're going somewhere out in space, probably to a space station, and docking there or something, and then getting shipped back. So, you know, there's a whole factor of refueling. You know, if they go to a space station, rocket can be refueled, sent back, it's got fuel to make the trip back and land. You launch it to the other planet, you gotta make sure you have fuel for it to return. I think of it kind of like SAS Factory. You have, you know, the difference between like a truck and the train. You know, like the truck is fuel there and back. You gotta worry about the fuel consumption for the travel. But you know, it's like, and you go multiple points, but you still gotta worry about the fuel consumption. The train is just powered. And for me, that kind of, in terms of the idea of traveling to another planet, I see that as a rocket versus like a spaceship. Spaceship, yeah, you still probably gonna have fuel of some sort, but it becomes more of a question of, like, obviously the spaceship is intended to fly back. You know, a rocket can be intended for a one-way trip. So I'm interested to see how that plays out with this. If, you know, once you get there, are you stuck having to build a certain minimal level of infrastructure to get back? You know, I would think of, like, you know, again, the truck analogy. You know, if you're going to send something with a truck in SAS Factory, you can load up the truck, drive it over there, and unload it manually. But if you want to automate it, you need a truck station at this end and a truck station at the other end, and you got to set it up so it goes here, picks up here, goes here, drops off there. So for this game, it'd be a similar thing. If you're going to send a rocket to the other planet and expect it to come back, you need a platform on the other planet for the rocket to land. We see that with the trade rocket. So we'd have to have a rocket platform there to land. So, you know, I'm kind of wondering how that plays out. Is it going to be a case of we launch and we kind of go to the other planet, almost like Subnautica? You know, when you launch at the end of Subnautica, you can eject your time capsule. You can put some resources in a time capsule and eject it. Is the rocket in this case going to be, well, whatever you carry on your person and maybe some storage in the rocket? You land and now you're there until you build enough infrastructure to build up to the point that you can build another travel rocket platform and now start going back and forth? Or is it a, you launch there and you can launch and come right back kind of thing? You know, there's a few different ways it could go. That's where I'm kind of interested to see how it pans out for that. I need some zeolite for gas extractors. I don't know if I want to worry about getting the zeolite just yet. Wait for maybe the extractor to hit. Definitely not anywhere close for that. Oxygen. As I got the flower spreader, we can do some flower spreaders. I'm not a fan of the flower spreaders because of the visual effect that it, you know, just covers up the ground so much. Apparently, I have algae. I had algae in range. I didn't realize it. Okay. There we go. Wait, can I make more? Perfect. I'll just slap that there and do another flower there, and then the Tuskas. We're gonna do the Tuskas. 1, 2. Later, I will do flower spreaders, grass spreaders, just to give like a nice vibrant area for my animals, but not right now. Mac, hello, child. Infant. And I'm not Gramps. I mean, technically, I'm old enough. I could be a grandfather if I had a kid when I was like, you know, 18, and then they had a kid when they were like 18. So I could technically be a grandfather at that point. But, you know, in most cases, I would not be old enough to be considered a Gramps. Uncle Spicy. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can be Uncle Spicy. I could do like another 3 back here, I think. Which I have more than enough power at the moment. I should be able to make more than enough power. Just need the aluminum. When am I doing more Subnautica? Whenever Subnautica 2 hits early access, I'll look at doing something with it. But until then, I am completely burned out on Subnautica. 100%. I'll not be back to that or below 0 for quite a long time. Okay. So, and how am I doing? That produces heat, not pressure. Well, I need the drills. Let's see, more drills. I could do. Yeah, I did just get some more aluminum, so let's just start. While I have it, toss out a couple more each time. If I get some, well, I need algae. If I get enough fertilizer going, I start swapping those vegetubes out for the flower spreaders, and that'll help. Okay, I got some more drills. I'm still doing fine on that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh, wait, osmium, that's a problem. Not a big problem. I know exactly what to do. Go a place where I haven't grabbed all the osmium yet. Or one place I haven't grabbed all the osmium. Yeah, we'll go over here to the cave from the spires to the wasteland. And I can get some osmium there. That should be clear at this point of ice. And then I can get that. We'll try to do, I'll do like 3 more if I can. Tier 1 extractors for aluminum. That at least will speed that up a bit and help out. And then, depending on what I need, osmium-wise, I'll have to be a little careful on some of my usage. But I do want to get first extractor, tier 2, needs to go to osmium. Second one needs to go to super alloy. And then I can go do like a uranium setup. Right now I'm doing fine with uranium thanks to the rockets. I can keep doing the rockets. It's a tedious thing, but I can keep doing that. I just need some osmium to get some more extractors going first. Ooh, yeah. Got a nice fuse. See, that should be... That's 7. Okay. 8. 9. I'm not going to build in here, so I'm not worried about the way it looks. 10. 11. And 12. Plus, I can leave all the red iridium that has a visual contrast compared to the blue of everything. You know what? I don't have enough oxygen. Let's go back. Got stuck in the ground. Just barely peeking out. I should have... Yes, there we go. I can go... just because I've already suffocated once today. Let's not make it a trend, so I'll get my oxygen back before I head there. 13. I've got 13 osmium. Okay, that was, yeah, 2. That's good. I think 3 for the tier 2 extractor. Each one. I think that's what it was. I'm going to assume if that's it, then I can use 6 now, and that'll give me enough for 2 extractors. 2 extractors for more osmium will be enough. 2 extractors, 2 tier 2s for osmium, 2 tier 2s for super alloy, and then get 2 tier 2s going for uranium. I should be okay at that point, and I can start upgrading the other ones. We're going to start with the tier 2 or tier 1 for aluminum. We'll get some more of those. I am struggling on the aluminum side. Of course. Alright, fuse. Nugget there. Yeah, I'll do the osmium. And that. Okay. Watch, now I'll be out of aluminum for this. Oh. Not enough. Alright. I feel like if I can make it at least into the beginning of the drone stage today, that will really help. I do, you know, I have to make it to the point where I get the terraformation upgrade that lets me fly off the planet. That's not going to happen next week, I'm pretty sure. Depending on if I can put that much time in this week. I might can make it work, but more likely, no. It's going to be a case we won't get to actually fly off of the planet next week. Just yet, because I'll still have to get... I have to do all my trade rockets. I'll have to make sure all that's going like at least get some drones started today. I feel like that will be a good stopping point. Like I've made a sufficient amount of progress. And you know, with the drones, at the least, for the drones, I can set up something where I could try to funnel a lot of resources to producing what I need for rockets and do the basic, you know, 2 rockets, start launching tons of those just to get my boost through the roof. We're gonna have to boost again. Let's see, we got orbital information. All right, finally I'll get to see my orbital information of how much I've launched already. After I've been just, I want to say I've got at least 10 of each. Of the first ones. Not so worried about that. I ain't worried about that. But, oh, that's right. I didn't get the other. Oh, I used up all my rods. So, yep. I have 1 heater. I did not get to make that. That's what it was. I ran out of aluminum again. Okay, a little bit more heat. Keep putting out drills for pressure. Trying to think of where else I could go right now. That would be helpful. I've done all the major shipwrecks around the area. You know what? I don't think it's changed yet. I don't see the big vine growing up out of the ground, but I might go see if I am how close I am possibly to getting through to the waterfalls from here. It should, at some point, I can't remember what stage it is because it's been a while and they changed it during early access. There should be that shortcut that opens up right there where the vine basically breaks through the rocks and it opens up and I can walk right through into the waterfall area. Got tier 2 algae generator. That's good. Yeah, it should be like I can already see through it if it was getting ready to let me do that. Granted, I'm not actually thinking about building the waterfalls yet. That's kind of gonna be more for do the butterflies and all that over there. That's what I'm thinking. Keep them out of my area so I don't have to get the slowdown. So grab algae before I rip these out for tier 2. Yeah, that's what I need. Yep. I think I can make this work. Go ahead and get some fertilizer. Yep. Alright, because, you know, probably will need that. Let's see, tier 2. Extra bioplastic nugget for each. So I've got 2 out there. That means it covers for the 1 bioplastic nugget of each, and I just need an extra one. I need some super alloy. Of course, no aluminum again. Alright, that should somewhere. Oh yeah, I got one there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me go grab what little bit I can. I can do this. I'll get those upgraded. Which game is this? The one in the title right there, Planet Crafter. Golden. It's Planet Crafter, playing the original map before they released the next big free update on Monday. So, yeah. It's peaceful Subnautica. And there's not water everywhere. Target. There we go. I'm gonna move the algae generators a little bit closer. I want to avoid them being where the algae can get stuck in the ground, as it tends to happen. But I don't have the auto crafters yet, so I need them to be in range of my crafting. Really, I should have moved that to the other side. I should have put that on that side. Okay. So, you know what? I'm just going to take these out. Okay. We got that. Or I got the other 2 nuggets. So 1 and 2. Done. Okay. That will be all done. All right. Getting close to the halfway mark for that. I feel like, you know, I need to do 2 more. I just got some more aluminum. So the same thing. Keep doing this. Keep adding 2 more each time. Which means a little bit more pressure. Because that will get me the tier 2 extractor. Yeah. Then heat. You know, get to that point, that'll be good. Power-wise, I'm just not generating that stuff yet. Not worried about that as much. I do have the flowers. What was that? I need... That was it. Fertilizer. Yeah, I needed more fertilizer. Yep, 1. Okay. So, start taking these out. And use that to boost. Put the stuff away. Okay. Laura. Hey, Jason. Don't worry. You can always use ChatGPT now to help you generate more lyrics. If that is the best you can accomplish on your own, AI can help the rest of the way. May have to be a little, you know, I've talked to it a few times to get the right direction, but, you know, you can make it work. Oh yeah, that's right, I need zeolite. I know I can get into that cave now. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go get some zeolite. Just for the fact that, I guess I used up the last of my osmium for something. I don't remember what that was, but yeah. Get some zeolite. And I get at least 1 gas extractor going, just so it's like at least producing something for me. Hey, Felonius. Thanks for joining as well. we're gonna grab these here, because, you know, that helps. Yeah, not so worried about it right now, but I will be getting my zeolite setup going as well. Surprisingly here earlier than normal, because usually I come here and you know, there's already water everywhere before I, you know, by the time I get over to this place. Definitely am going a little bit faster than my usual. I don't see any zeolite sticking out yet that I can mine. Maybe I think I'll get some from one of these. Alright, I'm going back. Should give me enough air to make it back. Oh, like, worst case, you know, I gotta wait. I'll get tier 2 going out here at some point. Yeah, that's another advantage of this area building where I'm building my base, because I'm close proximity to the zeolite cave too. You know, I don't have to worry about drones traveling super long distance to pick up the zeolite. Or do like I was doing before, where I had to go and pick it up myself, because it was just, you know, the travel time was not worth it. Oh, you know, not enough time to collect everything and get back. So I still have my little oxygen spots. You know, if the vehicle was right off the bat an oxygen resource, like, oh hey, yeah, you got this, now it's a portable oxygen spot for you, I would definitely be using it a lot more heavily, or just period. But because you have to get an upgrade to make it an oxygen, you know, resource where you can get inside and get your O2, and generally by the time that I am actually getting to that point that I can do that or need to do that, I've already unlocked breathable atmosphere. It tends to defeat the purpose of that. Let's just see. The beacon, not worried about. You know, I could get either of these. Granted, it doesn't exactly have a issue because of my stacking. It's just a case of I still lose oxygen while I'm sitting inside. And you know, to me that feels like it's designed like the movie The Martian. The designs they used in that. That is what I would expect it to, you know, be like. That I get inside and I have oxygen. I feel like it's missing on that. Like, I should be able to breathe while I'm inside. I could end up making that. I really don't need the bark yet, but I can get that going. Up the recycler. Okay, so I don't need that. And I'm not worried about this till I can redesign some things. So, don't care about that. Let's check on algae. Actually, I'll just do it this way. See if I can. I should be able to craft everything. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine for me on this end too. You might need to just refresh your page. YouTube does have that happen with the browser where it'll get choppy and it's just refresh your page and it's fine. I think that's all of it. Still out of range for me to craft from here with it, but okay. Yeah, I think it. If you hear me, I think. Let me check everything, make sure it come back. YouTube, I think, freaked out. Because it did it on mine just now. Like, my iPad suddenly stopped, and I looked, and it was showing I was disconnected, but I'm online. Like, my internet was still good. I tested it. I could pull stuff up, but it was no YouTube. So YouTube may be having some issues today. Or at least right now, they had a little interruption there. Okay, not done on that yet. I really want to redo this already, but I want to wait till I need to wait till I can get the 3x3 room. That's the one I need. I need the 3x3 room because I want to build it right to start with. You know what? That's, you know, just remind me. I need to go ahead and do this. If I can get up there. You know, it used to be I could fly up the side of a building with this, with my jetpack. Now I can't. Now it, like, gives me problems. I'll just do it this way. Communication thing. Because I will need to be able to get some messages. If I remember right, that's what it was. We have communications with Buddy Boy. Dude that sends us stuff. It's like once I get to a certain point, I think it's the blue skies. Or not blue skies, the breathable atmosphere. I think once I get breathable atmosphere, he sends me the thing to unlock. It's either the trade rocket or it might be the trade rocket thing because it's the 3x3 room. There's a way I can get the 3x3 room at that point. And yeah, forgot to come in here earlier before the water filled in. It's okay because I get better stuff when I come in here now. I want to say, yeah, I think it's the trade rocket thing, or there's something it unlocks at that point that I can get. I can start working on getting the money to buy the 3x3 room. That one I want to get. Because I don't want to do like my main building for my base until I have it. Because it's just such a pain to have to move things around later. You know, agility boots. And pulsar quartz. That's a good one. You know, get everything set up, and then I gotta go and reorganize. It's a pain to have to do that. So I'd rather go ahead and have everything. I think I'll take that out. We'll take these out too. This just gotta go over here. I've got plenty of iron right now. I could start building the little road path, I guess. Just not sure where I need to start it from because I don't have anything else built. Aluminum. Let's get aluminum. I'm gonna launch some rockets. Again. Boost some stuff. What is it, Timmy? Every time I look over, you're just kind of like staring at the floor in one spot. What am I missing? Ah, I already got a message. 10. Is that? That's it, really. So I had 3. I would come over there and I'd get 10 aluminum. I put down 3 more. I come back, I still get 10 aluminum. I literally doubled the amount of drills, of extractors, and I still got the same amount of aluminum I was getting before. And Timmy said he's gonna go lay in front of the fan. Yeah, is it warm, Timmy? You a little hot? That's why we got the fan on. I mean, I got plenty extra as far as the total number of items I got. I got more than I was getting previously, but I still only got 10 aluminum. I'm not getting a lot of aluminum. So, yeah, it's time for Rocket Man. Not so much worried about these. You know, that's just the story aspect. Yep. Be cursed, Sentinel Core. That's really what I need. I need that. So, got getting something. Storm. Okay. Oh, and the agility boots. Where is it? There. Yes. Better movement speed. Yep, I got tier 4 oxygen tank. Yeah. Tier 5 backpack. Did I do that one yet? Yes, I did. Okay. So I've got all that. Let's do rockets. And actually, oh, I have rocket engine. So the 4 rocket engines. We can, I only got 10 aluminum, so I need 2 super alloy per rocket launch. Yeah, again, I want to get the extractors going. I want to upgrade my extractor. Oh, Timmy's back to his bed. He came back to hang out next to me. He's like, fan was nice, but he likes to be on camera better. Like, he don't like cameras. He don't want to be on camera. He's just supposed to sit here. Tired from playing hard this morning. A lot of playtime this morning. Just super tired. Just like, let me sleep. So 4 storms, grab the supplies. Watch as that boost goes. Yeah, we're making good progress there. Got that. Aluminum. How much do I have left? I have 11. Plus 2 super alloy already. Okay, that gives me 2 more rockets. Yep. That's 2 more rockets. I'm doing her 3 and 3. Right now, I'm going to leave the auto launch rocket on. I'm leaving the default setting. Not doing massive launches yet. When it gets to that point, I'm going to change the speed on it. So we'll do like, you know, like every half second have it launch again. You know, launch that 200 rockets in one go. It's like the thing. There we go. Okay. Got that. fire button. Comes back in handy. Okay. On the way. Not there yet, but we'll get there. I need to stay right here so everything falls in the same area, so we wait for the next one to start. Wonder if I take damage while I'm driving that. I mean, considering it doesn't give you oxygen, it doesn't by default separate you out as an oxygenated environment, I would assume it would get damaged, or I would at least take damage if I got hit by a meteor while driving the vehicle. I assume it would take less damage, but still in case I would take damage. Scrolling, do some scrolling. Let's see, 2. Just put them all together like that. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm starting to one of a different seed. At least boost my oxygen a bit more. So, orbital information, 550, getting close to that. And sea spreader rocket, I can do a bunch of those. That's going to be helpful. We're going to get to that fairly quickly with how that's going. Oxygen is doing a little better. Not great, but it's doing better. That is still where I want to be next. Okay, I got enough. Knock out 2 drills, and that releases 1 aluminum. Biomass is going up. You know, I haven't checked lately on that. Plant rocket. Okay, 175. So not far off from the plant rocket because I do have the plants going. But obviously the plants are going to have to get way up. Plant rocket's going to be critical for that. Once I can do those, I need to launch a few of those. So that will boost, and I can get to beehives. Beehives will help get the insects going. And get me some of this. I'm very much ready for getting the outdoor farms. Message from Riley. There we go. That's the guy I need to hear from. Until I get to blue skies. Breathe the atmosphere, which means a lot of plants. Way over there. I need to wait and save some, well, you know, I could put an extractor over here. Except I used my last piece of aluminum for the super alloy. I didn't think about that. Yep. There goes that last piece of aluminum for super alloy piece. That's it. That's all the meteors. As soon as I hear that next meteor. I think that's 4. That's 4 storms. Should have the last 2. Or maybe that was 5. Oh, yep, here are the storms, so we do have more. There we go. Don't care what it is, I just need it to trigger that. I don't think I remember them ever changing it where it triggers and follows the player. Because I've done it before where I've, you know, as soon as the storm started, I teleported. And it would continue in the other area over there. I could, you know, be like, oh yeah, I don't have any meteors coming around me now because they're all over there. I think it still is a case of it just follows based on where I am when it starts. It looks to be like that. So yeah, yep. You just gotta, wherever when the storm starts, you need to be in a good spot, consistent spot, so you know where the resources will be. So I just need to get back over here real quick. The tier 3 extractor, yeah, that is the good one, the golden one, because, you know, by default, no matter where you put it, you can get the basic materials. You can get iron, cobalt, magnesium, silicon, titanium, and sulfur from anywhere. And then you go and put it on the places like super alloy. That's when I build a big super alloy farm. You know, set up a big aluminum farm and go stockpile using the auto crafter, the super alloy farm. So basically it generates all the super alloy, turns it into super alloy rods, and then I just worry about collecting or having the drones collect that. It simplifies things so I don't have as much traffic going to it as the way I like to do it. Because that way you don't have a drone going constantly for every piece of super alloy. That's the big changer right there. You get the tier 3 extractors, you get pretty much good on the resources. Again, why I like this map better is because I can then control how much I want to produce. You know, if I need more iridium, I build more extractors for iridium. And, you know, yeah, again, make the rods on site. So, like, you know, again, if you're doing drones, the drones don't collect the uranium, they collect the uranium rods with the autocrafter, you know, running that. It's just the autocrafter for super alloy, you do have to keep putting some aluminum over there. But really, once you get the aluminum farm going, you're gonna produce more than enough aluminum to do that, you know. So it's not a problem. You just gotta remember to go collect some every now and then, take it over there, or set up a transport system to make sure it stays stocked. Just gotta make sure you also stock your own stuff in the base. Well, I usually like to manually stock the aluminum. It would be great to have an upgrade to this where we could choose like a stock level. Don't just always like go until there's no more room. Like, I just want to maintain this much over here, you know. Or again, having where you can group the drones. So you're going to assign 2 drones to maintain the stock level at this place. And those 2 drones are just doing that. And it means you don't have to worry about that interfering with your other transport needs. should just leave, yeah, underwater through this area. I think I might just double check real quick, but also I know I got a spot. That, yeah, right here. We'll go. I don't think anything lands up higher than that. Could be wrong. I know sometimes I have had it based on where I was standing, stuff would land right in there, but doesn't seem to be the case now. I'll just go up here and get some oxygen. Plant rocket, we got it. Yeah, now with this setup here, because of where I'm at, I feel like I could do the, you know, let the drones transport the aluminum for me to the super alloy farm, just because if I need aluminum, I can have that be the priority to come fill up my aluminum reserves first. Though I may actually, thinking about it, do it the other way around, because what happens is once my aluminum is full on the base, when I break down super alloy rods in the recycler to get super alloy back, and that's the kind of the nice thing is if you're going to do a lot of stuff with the recycler, link in the description below, but you can check out the recycler to containers or recycler deposit to containers mod, which just basically, as long as you have a container named a certain way, you know, naming convention, the recycler will deposit the output into the container, as long as there's room. When you run out of room, then you have a problem. Then it's going to spit everything out. But that mod has the ability to just auto transport stuff into the named containers that match. So you can, you know, toss in your super alloy rod, and when you recycle it, the super alloy gets sent straight to your container. No drones needed. Still wish we had like a better recycler with a actual, like we got the crushers. That's like, here's the, you know, input and output containers. Why can't we have a recycler that's the same input output container? Here's the input. It automatically recycles through these and then outputs into this. It's the same idea, you know, just a different requirement. Maybe they are adding that with the Moons update. They should. It really is. We got the mechanics there. You just need to make an adjustment on the visual, you know, a little tweak, and then the same logic. Take this, process it to make this. Simple, you know? And that way I wouldn't worry so much about the recycler to container mod. Because then I could just, here's the tier 2 recycler, put it in here. It dumps stuff into its output bin, like the crusher does. And then you just have the drones collect it from there. Just like you do with a crusher. We need that. That seems like that's the logical next thing to do. If we don't get it now, it should be like the next update should have that. Granted, I've been saying that for a while. And we have yet to see it. But yeah, the crusher, the mechanics are right there. Just take the crusher, different, you know, change the visual so it looks more like a recycler. And instead of it being, oh, you take this and it crushes it, just take the code for the recycler where it crafts, basically. But instead of spitting it out everywhere, it goes into the container. Now you can collect stuff from the container. And it does exactly what the recycler deposit to container mod does. It does it on a, like, it, you know, wouldn't be as fast, but it'd be like the crusher, just every few seconds or so much time it takes, it recycles. It's automatic, which means, you know, you're not worried about the time it takes to recycle because you're putting it in there specifically to get supplies back. See, now that kind of mechanic, I could go for that sort of thing, because that would be like, hey, you know, I want to take the, instead of having the aluminum brought straight to you, you know, make the priority to take the aluminum to the super alloy farm and make super alloy rods. Then you have it where when you need super alloy, it takes the super alloy rods and dumps them into the tier 2 recycler, which automatically recycles them, making the super alloy, which gets picked up from the output bin. And you also get the aluminum in the output bin. That's what goes into your actual storage. That's why I like the idea not of priority level, but groups. Being able to say, this container is group 2, this extractor is group 2, the drones transport from group 2 to group 2. And just keep it like that. So you're not dealing with, it's not a priority level, it's isolating it to this. It's like a conveyor belt, you know, from point A to point B, this is the flow you want. It'd be easier to do that with a group mechanic rather than the priority mechanic. It's just in case, you know, we've got the capabilities there to do some of these things. We just need to be able to do them. I mean, it's already coded in the game for one mechanic or another. You know, they can readily do that. They just need to. Plant rocket. That's right. I got plant rockets. We will need to get some oxygen boosting going while I'm waiting on this. I got, oh, yeah. Lerma and, okay, tree bark. Now I do need the tier 2, biodome. Let's get in here. See? There we go. All right. Tree bark is going to be producing now. That will give me plant rockets. It'll take a little bit of time. You'll start getting some plant rockets. How close am I on that? We're getting close. And I think I got all of my resources. So now, you know, just let the rockets do their thing. The boost take effect. Oh, yeah, okay. Sea sprayer is not done yet, but I did get the plant rocket. So that will be the next one. We'll do some of those. Yeah, quality of life. That's what a lot of the mods I use are quality of life. You know, some of them are flat out, you know, akarnokd that makes a lot of these mods. Some of them are flat out marked like, oh, it's a cheat. I don't see it as a cheat. I see it as a quality of life choice. You know, the stacking mod, it's a quality of life choice. You know, maybe you want stacking. That should be a toggle, you know, in the game. If you want to stack stuff, then here's your choice. If you don't want to stack, turn it off. You know, it's a simple thing. You don't have to force people to do it. You don't have to make it where it's this. It's customization of the gameplay. That's why back when I played The Infected, it was like this. It was unusual, you know, for the level of customization that game had on the gameplay. You could turn off the enemies, where the random spawns, you could so they were only around the towns. You could turn them off on the towns and have them where they were just random spawns. You could turn off the cycle of attacks. You could turn off predators and just have the prey animals. You had all these different ways to change how you wanted the experience to be, you know. Maybe not turning off stacking or anything like that kind of setup, but you could, you know, turn around and change quite a few things about the way the game played. And I like to see that kind of attention in games from devs, because it means they're thinking about the player and the player enjoying the game as much as possible. Get some of these out of the way. Okay. I don't want to sit and wait for it to happen, but the infected is fun again. Then they fix the combat. Because, again, last time I tried it, I think I made it 15 minutes and I uninstalled the game. Because the combat was just so absolutely like the worst combat I've seen in the game. Like in a long time. Maybe not ever, but it was the worst enemy combat I have seen in a while. Because it was just like literally they would start their attack sequence and just stand in place and not move until the attack sequence was done. So you just run up, hit them, jump back, and watch them do like 3 attacks or 4 attacks in a row. They would do the whole sequence standing there, would not come after you. And then once they were done, you could hit them again and just then step back. And they like, you know, if this was the enemy, hit, step back, and does an attack, second attack, third attack, and then the final finisher move, attack 4. Run up, hit again, step back. Walk over here. He's still there in that same spot, attacking without chasing me. You know, that was how bad the combat was. I just said, yeah, 10 minutes. Nope, I'm done. So, I mean, you know, turning off combat in that, turning off the enemies, I could play it. But it was kind of like, well, then, you know, all I've got are bears. And if the Vambies are doing that, then odds are the bears and such would be doing that too. So that's why I haven't been back to the infected. I just see they have like an update that just hit or is about to hit. But again, we got the Moon's update coming out in 2 days for this, so I've got this to play. And this is more fun overall in the end. Now, Sticks, that is one thing to point out on this game is there are quite a few features in the game that were originally mods. I'll say the whole like click to transfer a certain like type of item was a mod. You know, it was where you could like control click or right click. I can't remember what it was for the mod, but there was a mod that lets you transfer all the stacks. That was akarnokd, I think, did that. There's quite a few features that were originally a mod that made it into the final game in the end. And the whole idea that we have a vehicle was there was a vehicle mod. Granted, it looked like a flying saucer and not the best vehicle, you know, in terms of, you know, ever being made in the game, but there was a vehicle mod, and then, you know, devs made a vehicle. Finally. We had, granted, stacking didn't make it into the game, but again, that should be a quality of life choice in the game. Let the people decide how that works. I always think back to Empyrean when, was it Alpha 9 hit? There were some major changes that a very specific set of the players were asking for, and the larger set of players never wanted. So you end up with the default being you could only carry so much weight in your inventory, but you had an inventory of like this size, and once you put like that in your inventory, you had all your weight covered. Like you could not fill your inventory because of the weight limit anymore. And it was default, and you had to go turn it off to be able to play like you used to. And there's so many players that complained about it and some other things that they turned it around where default was the old way and you had to go turn it on. And, you know, it's like, that was one of those things where like, yeah, this was a bad idea. I mean, it's for this set of players. I get it. You know, maybe players, you know, by default, they could say they don't want stacking turned on. But, hey, if you are a player, when you're setting up your game, you can say you want to turn on stacking. Right there. That's quality of life. Maybe you want it to be that way. You want it to play like that because that's just more enjoyable for you. You don't want to have to go and pick out everything, fill it up, you know, oh, wow, I can go build 5 reactors, and that's all I have room for. You know, you don't want to have to go through and dig and find all the resources. So you turn on the craft from containers function where you can craft within a certain range of your containers. I mean, Forever Skies, that got added to the game where when you are touching your airship, you have access to the airship container network and you can build and craft without having to go hunt down that resource. And it was a quality of life improvement. And, you know, obviously a lot of people wanted it. I feel like, you know, there are still some things that are mods that should be added to the game where it's like, oh, do you want this? Great. Turn it on. Or you know, it's default this, and if you don't want this, don't turn it on. Or, you know, good example, No Man's Sky. The whole, you know, you get the electrical connections between different things. The wires, you know, wires as they are. If you don't want those visible, you build the little thing once you unlock it that lets you hide the wires. And if you do want them visible, then you don't build it. It's a simple thing. Here's your choice. Build it or don't build it. You want it to be visible? You don't build it. You don't want them visible? You build it. You want to be able to access your container network? Build this item in your base. If you don't build it in your base. You know, give the player the choice on that, either in the settings or in the things they craft and make in the game. There's really no reason devs should not do that sort of thing. The only reason they don't typically is the devs have their vision. This is the way they think it should play. This is how they would like it to play. And they focus so much on that, or so much on the set of players that align with their values, that they tend to ignore the rest of the player base. And you end up with, you know, games that underperform versus what they could if they focused on the actual, you know, majority of the player base. And I'm not saying just ignore these players, just make it a customization thing. Make it where the player chooses how they want to play. You have almost 5,000 hours in Empyrean. I definitely don't have that much. You know, last time I played Empyrean after full release, it was one of those things, I didn't do any kind of modding for it. I just played it normal. But, you know, the problem is, if you're playing in solo, you know, single player, then you get or at least it did then. They hadn't changed it at that point. Maybe they've changed it since. You still have a disadvantage of blueprints, because if you start building a blueprint, oh, that blueprint's going to take 36 hours to build. Well, on a server, as long as there's somebody playing, that timer is still going, you know, as far as I'm aware. I think it just goes based on the server time, honestly, but at the least, as long as I know, as far as the playfields stay active, as long as there is a player on the playfield. So if there's a player on the planet, everything on the planet stays active. Not so in the single player. So you got 36 hours of playing you got to do for that blueprint to complete. So the only thing I would do that would be considered like modding when I played last time was I would do finish BP command to finish the blueprint and not have to wait 50 hours for that blueprint to complete after I took all this time to get the resources to make the blueprint. But, you know, it was one of those things. I didn't play the scenario, the story aspect. I just wanted to play and have my own, like, theme that I was doing. And I just wanted to play and test out with, you know, different designs. So I had, it was, I think it was still Jay Randall's stuff. I had one ship that looked like a proper alien ship. That I started, like, once I got my big capital ship, I built up to that one, so I had plenty of room. I used that for a long time. I ended up keeping it because it's such a pain to break them down in the end. try to get your resources back, you know? So I just kept it as like a secondary capital ship. But I built this one that's like a big sled. And I like it because it's not a fancy ship, but it's a sled, and that you got this big platform on top, so you can dock other ships to it. And you got plenty of room on top. It's just like a big floating platform is what it looks like. But it's got room in the front for your small vessels. And then it's got these docking spots along the side where you can dock other ship designs to it. So it was a whole set of them. I can't remember the names of the set, but you could get like, here's a mining vessel, and it literally was a design to fit in with the main ship, the sled. So you could, you know, take that ship, you go in there, undock it, go out, mine an asteroid, or break down. It had the mining and the extraction, the deconstruction turret too, so that you could break down like a space station you took over. You go out there, has its own storage, everything, even has its own refining, you know, processing stuff. You go out there, you do it, come back, dock it to the main capital vessel, and now everything's in range of your other stuff. You had another one of those little docked vessels that was like a production one. You had one that was just storage. You had one that was just farm plots, so you could go in there and set up as a big farming one, make plenty of food. And then the neat one was at the very back of it, you had a specialty one that was designed to go there that would carry its own small vessel inside. It was its own storage. It was basically its own little capital ship, just no warp drive. It was meant to be, the sled would stay in orbit, and then you would take these other ships out and do things, or go up on the top piece and fly off your whatever ship you had there. And I liked it because it had this whole, like, in my head, a scenario of like, here's the main ship, and you're deploying, like, if you were playing in a group, it would be easy to do. This person goes out, and they're just worrying about asteroid mining and breaking down stuff in space. You got your attack fleet on the ship that you launch, clears the area around the planet. Then you go and send your ships down to clear the enemies on the planet. Then you send down your mining ships for that. You know, it's just like, it had the feel of being a proper fleet. And I got that built. I got all the extra attaching vessels built. I got different, you know, heavy tanks and such. I had all that going. I was going, taking over planets, clearing out what I could. And it just got to that repeating, the pattern was the same. You know, yeah, it's a different looking planet, but it's the same thing again. Take out this place, defeat the enemies, destroy the core, loot it, break down what I want, you know, recycle what I want, and, you know, it's just repeat. So, yeah, the Space Engineers, they've got Space Engineers 2 out for early access now. That is one I tried a few times, and, you know, the last time I tried it, it was just a case of I spent 3 hours during a live stream to get basically like 2 foundations built and like a couple little machines. That was it. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this. And I I got rid of it. No, we're not gonna, I uninstalled it, and I haven't touched it since. I have not played it in any capacity at any point that it gave me a reason to keep it more than the try at that time and to come back to it. It was always, yeah, I'm just getting rid of it kind of thing. You know, I gave it a try, and now I'm done. I know I don't want to keep playing it. So, maybe Space Engineers 2 will be better in that aspect, that I will actually could be more interested in it, but probably not. Probably gonna be pretty much the same. I tend to find like some of the games that focus around the physics, when they get too crazy on it, that's where you start to lose some of the fun. Planet Nomads had aspects of physics, and it was kind of, you know, when you're building stuff, you'd have to get things kind of balanced so you didn't lopside or something like that. It was really bad with the water aspect, trying to get it to work on that, but you know, Plant Nomads was the same way, and it was like not that crazy in terms of the physics part of it, but it was still, it had physics. You had to worry about balancing certain things out, and I had problems at times. But there's also a lot of bugs with the physics that people took advantage of. Like one vehicle I remember you could get, there was like a switch, you could go turn it on, and it would just, because of the way it was handling, the physics were handling the game, it exploited it, and you'd go super fast. Like so fast, it could not even keep up as far as properly rendering everything. So your frame rate would plummet, but you would go, you know, super fast in comparison to what you should be able to as far as the limit. Minus 248, 42, and 93. So minus 248. And 93 is what we're looking for, really. I want to say I think that's the one telling me go into the mushroom cave. But I might be wrong on that. Let's say 48. Or 42. It's minus 248 and 93. Oh, nope, we're going back. I got my tier 2. So we're going back. Yep, osmium. Super alloy rod. You know what? We'll go get aluminum because I will need that. I don't care what I've got to break down. I'm going to get my, I'm going to get at least one extractor going in the osmium spot. Because I need more osmium. Ooh, that was a good haul. That was 9, 8, 9. Say they suddenly started working better on the aluminum. Look at that. Actually got a good amount for a change. This, I can make this work. Well, I know it depends on the person, but I tend to feel like if I have to play 3 hours and I've got a small platform and like a couple of things to produce stuff, and that's the most I've gotten, I have not made enough progress to entice me to play anymore, kind of thing. I'm not saying I've got to be halfway to finishing the game, but, you know, 3 hours. I mean, look at where I got to on the last live stream with this. I already had liquid water going, you know. It was already starting on that aspect. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and start building these. But, you know, it's like, granted, I didn't get, like, overkill, like, you know, progress at the beginning, but I made enough progress that is something I can be like, hey, I feel pleased with the progress I've made, you know. That's why the game Subsistence, I have never played that game ever since the first time I looked at it, because it was just so bad. And, you know, every time I've gone and looked at it again, considering to try it again, I've looked at the reviews and it's the same story again and again. You know, I played 3 hours. I managed to make one wooden platform because I could not craft nails in the game. They decided that didn't make sense to craft nails, but, you know, you had to rely on finding nails, and I never could find enough nails at all to do anything. I had all the other resources, I just couldn't find enough nails to make that, and I can't make a super alloy rod yet. Or is that, oh, that's the advanced crafter. So I can't make the I need a super alloy rod to make that, but I can't make the super alloy rod yet. Where's that's next. Okay, we're about to hit it. That's fine. That's not a problem there. I got a little ahead on that, but that's okay. We're gonna hit that in just a minute. Yeah. You were listening while tackling her. Yeah, I mean, granted, again, it depends on the player. There are players who like that extra grindy feel. There are players who don't like that extra grindy feel. there's players that are gonna be kind of in the middle, you know, like if this was a less automation in this game, it would have been less appealing to me. The idea was the automation. I like, you know, I'm fine with the grind at the beginning, but the idea is to reduce the grind by improving your situation. That's what I like. Granted, you know, at the same time, you know, even with that whole improving your situation, in some cases, like Satisfactory, that can go a little overkill, and that you're like, wow, I've got to do all this to get this going, you know? It becomes that kind of like, yeah, you're getting a little bit overkill on some things. You know, or it's just, it goes so far that it's like, yeah, I'm just making sure I did the right count there. It goes so far that it's like, you know, when you're spending so much time just planning out and thinking of the project before you even start. Like, there was some stuff, the last big save I did before full release on Satisfactory, there was some stuff I spent more time planning it out, trying to get the numbers in my head and everything, than I spent building the actual infrastructure, than actually building the spot, the factory, to make it work. And then I probably spent, you know, I would say between building the factory to make it work and then building the cosmetics to make it look nice, combined, I spent that's almost as much time as I might have spent planning on some of those projects. You know, just trying to map out everything in like Notepad, get the numbers right, figure out exactly how I want to do it. You know, stuff like that is just so much. And that's, again, that's a very grindy part of it. And that's kind of that realism part of it for a lot of people that want that factory management part. It's just, that's where it kills me. When I was spending that much time on it, I was like, I could go spend that time doing something else. Either that I get like something done at home. Like, you know, it's hard to sit there and, you know, plan something out and then go and start building this big project and do it like, oh, let me just do a half hour where you're in the middle of this one little section. You kind of want to get that section done before you quit. So it makes it harder to keep, like, to play if you don't have as much time in a consecutive period to play it. But it's also just, again, I could spend that time like, oh, let me go and, you know, I'll go clean or, you know, go do some of my online classes or something like that. I can spend that time being more productive instead of spending, you know, multiple hours building a new bot site location and optimizing it for this production, getting all this stuff going and planning it. It's just, that's the point where it feels less like a game to me. And granted, again, that should be customization for the player. That should be a player being able to, yeah, you can decide you don't want to go that overkill and decide not to build it. But at the same time, should also be options in the game on how you can do some of that stuff. How you can adjust some of it in terms of the play style. There we go. And, you know, for me, Satisfactory is a pretty good game in terms of build mechanics. The whole pocket dimension just gives you so much room for storage in your inventory that, you know, you're not worried about, for the most part, running out of supplies as far as going to building somewhere. And then they added in, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a new thing with either right before full release or after full release. It's a storage container that basically is a hyperlink, so you can have it linked as a way to get supplies between point A, point B, kind of thing. Content creation is a hobby. There is absolutely no way, like if I was relying on YouTube for living expenses, I would have dropped it after the second year, period. Because it's just, it's for the amount of time, even now, what I spend on this to what I make on YouTube, I would make more money working at McDonald's for the same amount of time. Content creation is either a passion, you want to do it, or you're one of that small set, very small set of people that actually make enough money to do it as a living. Don't like Occupy Mars. Well, then why are you playing it so much? Easy rule of thumb. If you're not liking the game, stop playing. Some more. Actually, no, I'll save that because I can use that to make. There we go. And yeah, I'm short the osmium. That's what I expected. But oh, yeah, 100%. There. Keep that. You know, I haven't given it much time, but I should have at least, I would think, one piece of osmium at this point in my new extractors over here. So, well, you know, that's the thing of early access. Every early access game needs tweaking. And plenty of full release games still need tweaking. Bethesda. You know, I'm going to stick with just the 2 for now, if I can get by with it. Oh, yeah, look at that 6. That's enough for 2 more, not even using any of the osmium I have back at the base. So that's 2 more extractors, and that is a sign I need to do super alloy. Yeah, I need to get some super alloy production going so I don't have to burn through my materials making super alloy. Then the next 2 I'll go and do the uranium. Honestly, I'm fine on the uranium, and really iridium I'm doing okay with that too. You know, just for this, and you saw I've got tons from the rockets. It's really, that's where the main use is gonna end up being, is making more rockets. So yeah, I can just get me some super alloy going next. I won't have to worry about that as much. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do, how many was that? 5. Hey, okay, so I've got enough of that, so we'll do 1, 2. Gotta take care of this. Got hit with lightning. That's not that's not a good thing. Get hit with lightning. It's like getting hit with a meteor in this game. Unless you want to be hit by lightning because it supercharges you some way. I'm not even gonna, well, you know what, just for now, I'll start up here, but I'm gonna do the same thing I've done before. I'm gonna put the big, full-blown setup in the back once I get tier 3 unlocked. So that will, it's not gonna be like a massive difference, but it's at least gonna be enough of a difference. I come here and get some super alloy and cut down on how much I have to craft. Okay, yeah, we're past the 2-hour mark. Means I'm not gonna get to drones today, I don't think. But if I can get breathable atmosphere today, that's at least gonna get me in that right direction. Well, breathable atmosphere just comes around the point of the plants. You know, it's, I don't have to wait for the larva. It's the breathable atmosphere come after, or larva comes after the breathable atmosphere. So yeah, Florida trees. I don't think I got the tree spreader yet, did I? Yeah, I don't think I did. Okay, that's not too far off. That's getting closer. That is swap some of those out again. You know, I need super alloy. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. Should have enough water. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Right here. 13 aluminum. So, oh, that's right. Now I remember what it was. I need tree bark. That's why I built this, because I didn't have any tree bark yet. I'll get the next one. Was it 3 or 2? Oh no, 1 tree bark each, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. 1 tree bark. And this will be the one I can launch these and I don't have to worry about collecting anything. So I need, yeah, fertilizer, lumber seed, and then of course the usual fanfare of rocket engine and 2 super alloy. So let's see how much I can get out of this. I got 3 fertilizer. 4 fertilizer. I burned through that too quickly. Alright, oh, got 1. Okay. Okay, so I need to make 3 rocket engines. Yep. Okay, so that's 3 more rocket engines. And now I need a total of 8. Ah, good. I was worried I was gonna run out. I don't, 2 left. Okay, we can get 4 plant rockets. Oh, I forgot to grab lermas. Got the rest, I forgot those. There. Okay. Now, 4 plant rockets. This will help a bit boosting the overall interpretation index. I now got the tier 2 spread. I can start upgrading. Of course, I need more fertilizer. Great. So I need more of these. Okay, got heaters. I don't want to get rid of those. I guess I could move the heaters in here. Or, I've done the heaters before. I haven't done the food growers in here. I could do the food growers. Since this is a biodome, that would kind of be like, oh, it makes sense. Of course, I need more aluminum. Move my food growers into the biodome with the other bio stuff. Unlocking all the tech when you start a game. Okay. So, you don't know how you unlock the tech? Was it like a setting or something you toggled? Jenny says something that makes me think it's a, you know, toggle thing or some selection thing somewhere where you get all the tech like right away. Setting, okay. You suspect it moved on its own. Yeah. You totally did do that. It just did it. So. Actually burning through some of that. And now, once I get that super alloy going sufficiently, I won't have to grab my aluminum like that. Okay, so again, super alloy to make, or, well, you know what, let's go check my super alloy before I go using up my aluminum. Yeah, I want to get some more boost going while I can. That's pretty much what I did between last week and this week. The only thing I did really when I played was I would just, I remembered, oh yeah, it's early game. I need to use the rockets to get resources, as much as I don't do that later in the game. And I just would launch a few rockets, wait for the storms to finish, and then go gather all the supplies like I was doing earlier. Wow, how I got so much iridium and uranium right now. I may just, depending on what I get to today, I may just focus on, between now and next week, just launching rockets to boost my production way up on that stuff and get plenty of resources. 2 super alloy, 3 super alloy. Oh man, I'm rolling in it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this. Again, I know you weren't with us at the beginning, Jenny. Actually, you, Jason, I don't think were with us too. If you haven't seen it, the game Foundry is like Minecraft meets Satisfactory kind of thing. Like it's the styling of Satisfactory, but the voxel, destroy the environment, do what you want with it kind of thing, you know, in block by block as Minecraft. The game Foundry is currently free to play. And when I started this, it was like a day and 23 hours, so just shy 24 hours, or 2 days left. So you can play it through the rest of the weekend for free to try it out. And if you like it, they have it on sale right now, 50% off. So, you know, I debated trying it today, just doing the live stream with it, but I was like, no, we've got the update coming Monday for this. I need to make progress on it But yeah, I may try to get some time in tonight or tomorrow with Foundry and play it a little bit. Again, it's free to play this weekend. Kind of hard to pass up a chance to try the game out. And then if you want to get it, it's 50% off, $15. And if you want the Founders Edition, the cosmetics from that, buy it as a separate thing because it's $5 extra to add it to the base game, as opposed to buying the Founders Edition pack for only 10% off right now. Okay. I need fertilizer. That's the other problem. I used up my fertilizer. Oh, no, wait. I'll get one back from each. Which is not a bad thing, because I can actually... I mean, I produce almost the same amount of oxygen. I produce a lot more in plants. And I use a lot less energy, so I could just break some of these down. I've got like, here's, yeah, 2. Take these out. And I'll swap that in. Put the tier 2 with the good Tusca seed. There we go, yeah. There's that one. Okay, so if I take that out and take that out, break that one down, do another one over here, which is going to get this seed and go with that one there. And tier 3 exoskeleton. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. Because boost. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's got those. All right. So if I can do this. Let's put them all over here. So I know these are the tier 3s. Going with those. And I can then, expand out. That's what I used to do, is always just have them all in one little cluster. So it's easier to manage, know where they were, and have all the flowers in one spot. Okay, so that's got my, that stuff upgraded. We did rocket, did I get the orbital information? Yes, and I have no more osmiums. We need to get that. Foundry, I don't know if it has a separate launcher. I know it does require a third-party agreement, which could mean it has a separate launcher for that part. Typically when you have the little third-party agreement, it has its own little extra thing. No reason why I say use the free weekend to test it out. If you like the game, hey, it's half off. If you don't like the game, well, you got to try it out. I wouldn't say leave a review. I mean, unless you put in like 20 hours over the weekend. Granted, there's only 48 hours left, or 47 hours and change. Actually, less now, actually. But, if you try it and you don't like it, I would say maybe, depending on how many hours you put in over the rest of the weekend, yeah, you might have enough time to make a justifiable review. But if you go in and played it for an hour, unless it's just absolutely awful, I would say, just maybe do the, give a thumbs down or whatever. Maybe not rip into them for a review. If you like it, give them a thumbs up. I feel like, people who play for an hour, this game is awesome on their review. It's like, okay, thumbs up is good. The relaying the context would be better if you had, 50 hours in the game. And maybe you added more than just this game is awesome. Detail out something. Why is it awesome? Oh, yep, there we go. That's 13. Find that. not enough silicon laying around. This is probably not how I'm going to do this in the end. Sure, I'll end up moving it over. I just need a place to kind of use up some stuff. Let me check that. Yep. But yeah, you know, games that do the separate launcher, especially the, you know, just so it can promote like, hey, go buy these credits or check out our other games. I hate that. You know, it's like the Far Cry, God, what's that one that they use? Whoever it is with Far Cry stuff, I hate that stuff. Like, that's one thing I really don't like with the Far Cry games is that you're stuck using that third-party app for it, you know? It's already enough that I'm doing, you know, Steam or Epic. I don't need to add your separate launcher that does nothing other than show me news about your games. You know, the devs, publishers, you don't need to do that. That's just, it's a waste of my time when you do that. Let me see if I can find that one. Because that's the other thing, it doesn't uninstall that when you uninstall the game. It says, oh yeah, we're gonna leave that on here, right? Because you might check out our other games. You have to go and manually uninstall it, and now I can't find it. I know it is. As soon as I just gotta see the publisher. If I ever get it to pull up. Ubisoft's launcher. There's no reason for that. It doesn't really do anything other than push you to spend money to buy unlocks in the game and you know, see news on their other games. It's like, why? Why do I need a launcher for that? You know, like Minecraft, its own launcher. You know, okay, granted, Minecraft originally was all Java based, so it made sense to have a launcher for that. Plus, it wasn't tied in with one of the stores, but I'm getting it through Steam. I should be launching it from Steam, not with your separate launcher. Publishers, stop doing that. But yeah, it's gotta be a good game, a really good game, if I'm gonna look the other way past a third-party launcher kind of thing nowadays. Like that's all it takes for me to say, yep, never mind. I'm not gonna do this game. Get stuck with a third-party launcher like that. Colony Survival, that is one I played a good bit early off, and you know, it was definitely a very played, you know, like it definitely was not a focus on replicating graphics like for the Minecraft side of things. You know, I mean, it was very similar, but they weren't trying to like outdo Minecraft. It was all about the colony management part of it, you know. And I played it a lot for a while, but you know, I saw some of these huge builds people were doing. I'm like, you know, granted, once you get things set up a certain way, you've got the resources being provided, you can do that kind of build. It was still, for certain things, at that time in early access with it, it was just very tedious. And it's the same thing with Minecraft. Even once you get certain things automated, all these automatic farms producing certain things, you can, you know, for me at least, I lose steam on it. You know, it's the same reason why I don't play just straight creative mode on games like that. Like if all I wanted to do was build, I would just play creative mode. But I play it because I like having some of the challenge, some of the focal point of that. You know, if this had a, you know, if I played creative mode this, I could build a big base. I could go really elaborate, really crazy. But I could do that in one long session or a few sessions, and I wouldn't have the challenge of this. It'd just be, it's, you know, it's like playing with Legos. You got all the supplies. But if you had to go and make the Legos, that would add a little bit of challenge of it. Now, I'm not saying I would do that, but it's the same kind of thing. sometimes you just want a simple game. You just want to do a creative game like that. Some people, that's what they like doing. Some people want the challenge aspect. Sometimes I just want to play a simple shooter and just do something to blow off a little steam after work, you know? It's not always about being able to, you know, craft something, create some big base for me. Sometimes I just want to, you know, have a nice, relaxing, blow stuff up type session. That's the one I'm really worried about, is that next one, because that will really help. And then we get the autocrafter. I at least get the autocrafter going. That will help a lot today. Vampire Survivors. I don't think I've seen that one. Let's see, I need to... Okay. I'm like gonna completely forget I have this set up. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's what I was afraid of. You know what? Let's go make the explosive power. I'll go ahead and make another one. Another reactor. Yeah, that, you know, expensive cost of the fancier reactors. Let me go ahead and just do, or fancier extractors. Make sure I don't use any resource that needs. Don't want to go out to put up 2 of those and then find out I used up something to make this. Ooh, we got an osmium drop happening. You know what? I'm gonna do this, because that should keep going while I am out. I'll come back. I don't know, just... I know the super alloy despawns very quickly. Does the osmium despawn at all? I feel like it doesn't immediately, but eventually does. Like it doesn't stick around endlessly till the next save load. But I will say I think this is my first osmium storm this entire playthrough. Sulfur, I'll take sulfur too. Make sure I'm not under it. Osiris New Dawn, I did play a little bit. This is the one I'm thinking of. I know I feel like I did play a little bit. It was just, yeah, it's one of those that like does not get rated very well. Still, like it's, you know, again, like Planet Nomads could have been so much better if they had not backtracked on some of the promises they had made. You know, that when that was okay, my mind just went blank. When that was on, oh man, well, like now my mind really has gone blank. I think I'm burning through my brain capacity for the day. You know, the website where you can back a project before it comes out and you hope it comes out. Geez, why can I not think of this? Like my mind really has gone blank. You know, you back something, you hope it comes out finished. When it was on, Planet Nomads was on that platform before it went to Steam in early access. It was one of those things where they had all these, you know, things they were going to do, You're going to be able to have these big caverns to fly, like drive down into, or you can fly a ship into. You're going to travel to other planets, all this stuff. And then, okay, we can't make the... Oh, no, I'm going the wrong way. We can't make the underground parts work, so we're taking that out. Okay, well, we can't make the other planet part work so well, so we're taking that out. And eventually it just kept cutting back to where you got a very stripped back story, very limited, you know, overall, other than the fact that you get to go and build your own little custom designs. And they had a workshop, so you could, you know, integrate with the Steam workshop, get designs from other people, share your own. That really became the only real value of the game, was the building aspect of it, which I think honestly is what keeps most people playing Empyrean at this point, is the workshop aspect. Well, I think Satisfactory, you know, they originally did Epic only to get that extra little boost from Epic, I guess giving them a bigger cut if they agreed to be Epic exclusive. Me, I would have gone and said, sorry, we're not going to do that, because if they had played on Steam originally, even without the Epic exclusive income boost for Satisfactory, they could have built the whole blueprints thing into the workshop right from the beginning. Could integrate it with Steam Workshop, and you would have had a very active community of players putting their stuff on the workshop, and that would have just added so much value to potential buyers. Oh, you mean I've got this big active community on the workshop and it's just built right in? I could just, that's just baked right in. That for me would have been the thing that, you know, like I would have, even knowing like how over the top some of the automation stuff would be, I still would have bought the game regardless. I would have given it a much better review, you know, in terms of my outlook right from the start, just because it had that integration. That always carries very far to me, with that community aspect that you can share and view what other people have shared, and it's tied in with the game. That always carries so much more weight in terms of how I look at a game, especially a game like building, crafting type game. But somehow I managed to get it to place on a spot it shouldn't have placed. Again, I wish you could like destroy stuff in here to clear out room for things. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like right. Still won't. Okay. Why can I not build that spot anymore? I used to be able to build right in there. I'll do it that way. Alright. Yeah, they stopped working on it, and just they said they ran out of money for Plant Nomads and ended up just releasing it with the story as it was. There's still bugs. It still has overall lack of content. But that was one thing that drew me to that game from Empyrean to Plant Nomads. Like Empyrean, I was all about it. They had Alpha 9 hit, and literally I could not play the game anymore without developing a migraine, because of the changes they made. It made the game so frustrating with Alpha 9 that every time I played after that, whether on my own or doing the live stream, I was shut down the rest of the day. There were live streams I would do, and I remember this because I would play, you know, do a live stream with it, and then that was it. Like, as soon as I got done with the live stream, I just had to go lay down on the couch because my eyes were just burning, and my head just felt like it was about to split open because it was so frustrating to play with Alpha 9. And then I started looking at other games, and Planet Nomads hooked me just for the building aspect. Again, you know, the physics part, there was some weirdness with that. It was kind of frustrating at times, but nowhere near what Alpha 9 Empyrean was. But the thing that got me with Planet Nomads was some of the creativity people used with some of the stuff that you could not do in some of these other games. Like, you know, there was a design I used, like, or a group of designs some creator put up where you could literally go and pick up and carry stuff around. Like, it had a way you could not latch on, but you could basically, you know, go do this, and once you did this, it would hook in, and you could pick up and carry a container with you and drop it in another spot. And the way it worked really nicely that I liked was you had ways to go and, here, I'm going to carry this, put this here, I'm going to deploy it, and then you had that little, you had direct connector pipes, but you also had the wire, so you didn't have to worry about the perfect alignment. You had the little wireless connector that was not like a super long distance, but it was like if you got them close, they would link up, so you could not have to worry again about perfect alignment on certain things, which was just carried so well for me in that game that they said, we're not going to make you be punished to perfectly align everything. But you could carry like one of those containers out, drop it off at a certain spot, and it would lock in with like your extractor, the drill, and it would start filling it up with supplies. You could basically carry out one, then pick it up, carry it back to your base, lock it in there. And you had kind of like, you know, if you could automate it with a drone, it could have been a literal like cargo shipment type setup. And yeah, that kind of stuff, that creativity hooked me on that game. Now, granted, I still like some of the creativity that came later with Empyrean. Like I mentioned that one earlier, that I want to say is Jay Randall, is the sled where when they added it, you could dock the other vehicles, like with the capital ships to each other. It was done where you could have basically, here's this sled that carries other capital ships with it. And it was like the one that was like, you could worry about the warp with it and not have to warp all the other capital ships. So you could carry a whole group of ships that you liked for different reasons. It was like, you know, that kind of creativity always enticed to me. Not specifically around the whole, like, making a certain design, like how creative can you get with the visuals, more of how creative people can be as far as exploiting some of the mechanics, or not even exploiting, just making use of some of the mechanics in a certain way. You know, I've done the same thing in some of these where I took advantage of a way a certain mechanic worked to make it work better, you know. Oh yeah, No Man's Sky, when they got 2.0 really is when it took off and started to get better and better. I do like that they did add the custom ship building thing, but I still feel they should have done it a little bit closer to the styling of, like, you know, Empyrean and such, and that at least, you know, to a degree. You know, when I think custom ship building, that's the kind of game mechanic I think. I don't think, here, swap out your cockpit for a different cockpit. You know, that's not ship building, that's ship decorating. It's like base building game, or games that tag themselves on Steam as base building, and it's not base building. You're not building the outpost. You're not, it's not like, here, I'm building this out and I decided I want to put the wall, put that there and put this here. It would be a case of, here's your base, and you can choose where to put this storage container, or you can choose where to put this little desk, this, you know, your workbench, but you can't choose to change the design of your base. Well, that's not base building, that's base decorating. You know, it's just like, you know, the games where the developers list it, come check out our survival game, and literally the only thing survival about it is don't die. Like, that's the survival element. Don't die. Your point is to stay alive through the game. That's not a survival game. That's just that's a general gameplay mechanic. Don't die in the game. If not dying is all it takes to be a survival game, Super Mario is a survival game. Doom is a survival game. Technically, Doom's a first-person shooter. Original Super Mario is a side-scroller. But the point is, don't die. That's not a survival game. Survival game is this, where I'm worried about food, water. I'm having to worry about producing food and water, not just finding it, to get by. There's mechanics beyond just the idea of don't die that make a game a survival game. And devs either don't realize that, or they realize it and ignore it just so they can try and get people interested in their game, that because they see it survival, or they see it as this or that. That'd be like calling Stardew Valley a factory management game. It's a farming sim, it's a life sim, different things. It's not a factory management game. There's no factory aspect to it. You don't have conveyor belts in that game. I have not played Green Hell lately. I did see they are certified fully on Steam Deck. I guess that means they improved the playability and the controls enough that they're like, okay, we're certified. But no, I have not played it as of late. Again, it's kind of like I'm cutting back on my game time a lot. Partly because I've got so many things I've been meaning to do for quite a while, and I've been trying to actually get myself back focused on doing them. Also, I'm finishing up what's going to be my last online course set for a while. I've got just under a month to finish up the big capstone project for it and get my certification. And then once that's done, I've got a cybersecurity conference in June. I'm going to be gone dealing with one weekend. So there'll be a weekend in June I'm not going to live stream because I'll be busy with a cybersecurity conference. And then I'm taking a break from classes for a little bit. Try to get some projects done and actually do some of my cybersecurity projects I need to do. And along with stuff around the house, whatever, my own computer projects. And I'm getting to the point like this, I've actually been able to sit down and play during the week and want to play it a bit. Forever Skies, I kind of want to play it, but at the same time I also like, once I get to a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'm good till it's time to I have time to do the next video. So I'm not playing anywhere near as much as I was previously, which is a good thing. I need to do other stuff and not just spend not come home and spend 2 hours or 3 hours playing straight night after night, but playing like this is right now is the longest consecutive game session I do in a week right now. It is what I do on my live streams, and I'm okay with that. Got other stuff that's just more important. Granted, like I said, I don't make that much money from this. If I was making a good bit more money with this, I would definitely try to put more time into doing the gaming just for the content part of it. But, I can make more money working at McDonald's for the same amount of time that I spend on this. So this is for a hobby, for fun for me thing, and I'm only going to do it as long as it is an enjoyable hobby. So I try to limit myself to where I keep it enjoyable instead of burning out. And that means less game time right now. Okay, I'm gonna get some more water because I got plenty. Still not up enough on the trees. I feel like I need to do some more seed. Or not seed, plant spreaders. Yeah, 8 bark. That was 8 bark, 8 lerma. Oh, 8 fertilizer. That's right. I got 8. I need 8 fertilizer. I don't have enough of that. I need, that's right. I was moving. Now I remember I was moving these up. I was going to make some more growers upstairs. Yes, I got enough. I distracted myself. Okay. Squeeze it in a little bit. Alright. That's enough. I've got 7, 8, 9. Ready to go. That's, you know, I'll just do all eggplant because I need a lot of eggplant. Ready for my outdoor farms. I need breathable atmosphere for that. And the bees. Gotta have the bees. Beehives to make bee larvae. Do that. But that will give me a bunch more eggplants. Oh! It's super alloy time! Yeah! As long as I don't die doing it. So let's take some food just in case I get smacked. Yeah, normally I would avoid this, but I need super alloy, and I kind of feel like I will crave it at the moment. You know, this despawns quickly, so it does not leave like rubble. Oh, that was right in front of me. Yeah, it doesn't leave like rubble that's ready to see where it's hit. Oh, yeah, I got hit. Oh, that almost killed me. I was right at that last little bit of help. There we go. Okay. The sky's letting up. I'll still get a few pieces. Well, if it ever stops spawning. Like in that area to that area, I guess. Like I appreciate, you know, we get like the very rare super alloy storm. They should not despawn as quick as it does. I mean, grant we get a lot of them. It's a lot of meteors that hit. So it you know, you don't want to have it stay forever. And because then it ends up getting too much at that time, and it kind of, you know, it would imbalance things. But seriously, it needs to take longer to despawn. Like, I'm pretty sure they've all despawned now. Alright, well, I got 17. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of games that are just obvious cash grabs. There's one I remember a buddy years ago got me because he thought it'd be fun to try play together, which he did. You know, it was like $1 game on one of the Steam sales. So he bought like, you know, it was like, or maybe it was $2 per copy, and then you could buy a 4-pack for $5 is what it was. So he just paid $5 to buy 4 of them. Gave me and 2 other people keys. And it was literally, it's like Minecraft, but you, you have like dragons and such, and zombies, skeletons, like a little bit more involved skeletons, like skeleton warriors with like swords and shields and such. And you are basically fighting most of the time. This ain't more fighting. And it was one of those, like, you start playing and you're like, oh my god, this is like obviously one that somebody just did. Like, we can rip off Minecraft basis. We'll do a little bit better on the graphics for this, and we're gonna sell it for dirt cheap. And I swear, I don't think it has ever updated. I don't think they've released a single update for it. It is one of those clear cash grab type games in the end. And I was just like, I think I maybe made it an hour, and I was just like, this is a waste of time. And yet that game is still out there. You still go get it. That's exactly what it is. It's a waste of money. It's just there to be a cash grab. There's plenty of others like that. I've seen some that I've played. That actually, there's one I bought. You know, I bought it, and then I found out afterwards when I was watching, there was like, played it for a little while, then waited, no updates, and finally I go and see, oh, they don't update it. They literally just, like, every year do like a special sale just to get some money, and that's it. It's like an unfinished game. Here it is on sale again for 90% off. It's like that guy has a $10 game, they sell it for like $1 just to get some sales, because they've never updated it since. Let me see if I can find that one. I remember, because I was like, yeah, don't buy this game. Like, stay away from this game. If you ever see it, don't buy it, period. It's not that one. I may have put it on hidden. Maybe I'm looking. Oh, maybe I'm looking past it. I don't know. Okay, another one I got. I think I got this as a free one. And yeah, it's called Insiders, and it was literally like I got it for free, and it's one of those like you're in a ship, but you can build a base and do stuff like that. And you're inside a person, like you've been shrunk down. You're inside their bloodstream. And, you know, there's no point in building a base because everything was so far apart. You could spend like an hour and a half traveling from one point, like this base, to another base, and you're still too far away from anything else. It was just badly done, and it's never been updated. It's literally, you know, last update was November 2021. But that's not the one I was thinking of. There's one, though, I remember that, and it was like, I got it. And then I regretted getting it because I found out that it was not being updated. It was just a cash grab. Literally, because they just put it on sale once a year to get some money. The Minecraft ripoff. Okay, I was wrong. I didn't even make it an hour. I made it 9 minutes. Called Castle Miner Z. Released in 2011. And it's got, you know, all reviews 7,611. Very positive, 82%. I tried it. I was like, this is just an absolute jank, crummy rip on Minecraft. And they literally just put as little effort as they could into it. And said, okay, that's all we gotta do. And then left it as that, and we're fine with it. It's just absolute garbage. But it was, you know, one buddy bought like a pack of the licenses, or, you know, pack of like keys for it for just a few dollars. And I was like, yeah, you got ripped off. You wasted your money on this. This is not good. Yeah, having to refund it within 2 hours is, I honestly, you know, if the game can be finished in 2 hours, I get it. You don't want to, you know, or finished in 3 hours. You don't want to have it where the game can be finished that quickly and somebody can refund it. But if your game can be completed in 2 to 3 hours, yeah, it should put some more effort into your game. It's way too short, especially to charge anything more than, say, like $3 for the game. You got a $10 game, and the whole story takes you 3 hours to do it. You need to extend the length of the game. Just gonna say it. That's not enough for a player to get enough value out of it for $10. Granted, there are games that, you know, I've paid $20 for, and I'm still able to, if I play it, I can get value out of it. I mean, I think I paid total $25 for Ark and all of the expansions on sale, and I still haven't even finished the main map with Ark, just because I got burned out on it. But if I wanted to, I'd go back and play it. I could go to do the expansions. I got all that, you know. I got it for super cheap. I got definitely my money's worth on that. But yeah, I get it. You know, 2 hours is too short for most games. But I think it's kind of more of a, you know, 2 hours refund, so you can see if there's any major problems. You know, being a lot of these games are early access, you know, you're putting your faith in the developer that they're going to finish. And there are games that have never been finished and will never be finished. Games that have been abandoned in an unplayable state. You know, Mechanica is one of them. It's literally, the dev took out the good programming interface and left the bad programming interface, and then took the vehicle out too. And that's the last updated state of the game. And it's abandoned. It'll never be picked up, or it's never going to come back. The dev literally confirmed they were dropping it. But that game is still on sale at full price. And, you know, if you don't look at the reviews and you go and you get the game, you start playing, you get along, you're like, wow, this is okay. You know, let me see what the updates are like. Well, you made it 2.5 hours. You're now looking at the updates. Oh, well, there's no updates. You go look at the reviews. Wow, there's all these reviews saying it's abandoned. Too bad. You can't refund it now. 2 hours. You played for more than 2 hours. Which is why I tend to not want to play brand new games when they hit early access. Like if it's, oh, it just came out, new publisher, new developer, and this is their first foray into it and it's early access, I tend to wait a bit because I don't want to buy into a game, especially one that kind of looks like it needs a good bit of work. Because you're again, that website I can't think of for some reason right now. You're hoping they're going to finish, and you're stuck with whatever they leave you with in the end. You know, right? Again, you got to have a certain cutoff point. You can't say, oh yeah, play for 20 hours, and now if you still want to refund the game, you can, because at that point you've probably been able to finish the game, or you played it enough to realize that, you know, that's all you want to play. You got a 20-hour experience out of it. You know, it's not fair to the developer and publisher to do that sort of thing. All right, thanks for hanging out, Jenny. We'll see you next week. So you gotta find that balancing point for when to allow a refund. A 2-hour mark is kind of a, are you gonna run into major bugs? I bought Witcher 3 on sale one time, you know, one of the major sales, and it was cheap. It was like $10 or something like that, I think is what I paid for it, and literally was running into one problem after another with it. So I refunded it. It took me 30 minutes to be like, I'm running into a lot of these problems. And I started looking at some of the reviews after that. Oh, there's a lot of other people having problems. There's some major bugs with it. I refunded it. You know, that 2-hour mark was gracious right there. Same thing with one of the Dead Souls games I played at one point. I was able to get a refund because I was in that time frame, and it's a good thing because it was the same thing. I literally watched, you know, I remember that one because I swung through one of the boss opponents, literally watched my sword go right through the guy, Did not affect him. He swings, I roll out of the way and miss. He misses, but I take hit because he literally swung to the side of me and it hit me. And I started reading the, reviews. Tons of people saying, yeah, the hitboxes are screwed up. There's major problems with the hitboxes. And they, it's been this way for this long. They still haven't fixed it. Probably not going to fix it. Got bad reviews for the game. I refunded it. That 2-hour mark was sufficient there. But since that kind of stuff and some of the other games that have been abandoned, I tend to avoid games that, if I look at it, I'll say this looks it looks a little underwhelming for, being released into early access right now. And there's no demo. I'm not going to get it. I'm going to wait. A Loft, they released a demo a long time ago. And I got to play it. And that made me want to jump on and buy it when it hit early access. Not, because of how it looked. It was just I had actually gotten to experience it already. So devs, if it's your first game and you're jumping into early access, hey, give people a chance to experience it without risking a penalty. You're probably going to get a little bit better, at least reviews that way. Give a demo. Short demo. I mean, Planet Crafter had a demo, Give a short demo, let somebody play it, they like it, then, hey, they buy the game. If they don't like it, or they say, it needs some work, well, now, they come back later, try the slightly updated demo, and realize they want to buy the game, I get, you think about it, like the whole early access thing is kind of that new mentality, like games aren't finished because we can just download updates, so even the big publishers release games that are incomplete, knowing they're just going to finish, doing updates to fix things and add the additional content they couldn't get to on their timetable, or that they just market for release to get a influx of cash because they need it. That same change has not applied to the refund process. It used to be you go buy the game, in the disc, you take it home. If that game was opened, you had a hard time returning it because that means in a lot of cases you couldn't return it because you could take it home and install it and activate it. If you had to do an activation, if you didn't have to do an activation, you can go home, install it, take it back, and you got the game for free. So there was policies to prevent that sort of thing. Now it's kind of like you still have almost that same restriction. Like, oh yeah, don't, if you do this, once you get past this point, you can't, return it. I mean, I get it. In some cases, it makes sense to a degree, but it needs to be updated to match the other stuff that has been updated with, like, early access and such, that you can, you're gonna expect updates and everything. Most games, yeah, you can watch others play. Again, that's one thing, for these creators that are making a lot more money with this than I am, or they just, this is what they do, they play. There's a comic I saw a few weeks ago, and he was talking about Call of Duty. He likes playing Call of Duty, except he gets in there because he's an older guy. He's got a family. He's got kids. He's got a job of traveling and doing comedy. This guy was actually on Howard Stern's show too before, so he was a bigger comic. But he's talking about, he's playing Call of Duty, and he's got all these kids, trying to, just basically dog him for being so bad at the game. And he's like, if you say, look, I got a job, I've got responsibilities, I can't sit at home and play all day like you, that doesn't faze them. It's these kids that are gonna, I can't sit at home all day and just game. I've got a job, I got responsibilities. That's one reason I don't play the competitive games like that too, because I don't have the time to sit there, or inclination to sit there and try to get that good at them. You know, I've got other things to do. So, you know, the creators that can sit there and they either make their money doing this, so that's their job, or they're younger and they don't have the problem having a job and responsibility, so can sit and play for 8 hours a day, and then 20 hours, you know, do 20-hour runs on a weekend. You know, they can go and try the games first, and I'll go and watch their videos and do my, you know, research through the comments on videos and live streams and the reviews on the games, and I'll make my decision if I want to buy the game off of that. All right, see you, Jason. But yeah, most cases, if I can't play a game as a demo and it's early access, I'm not going to buy it right when it comes out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how other people who have the money to burn think of the game, what the reviews say, and watch maybe somebody else's gameplay. You know, used to be I would buy the games and just, you know, roll the dice and hope I enjoyed it, but these days, no. Not gonna do that. You know, my last big mistake was Starfield. I bought it at full release, full price, and I shouldn't have. I paid more than double what I should have paid on it. I should have paid more like $20 to $25 for it, because I get more value out of No Man's Sky, and I paid $30 for that game. Again, I get more value out of Ark, and I paid like $25 for the whole collection. You know, like there's no reason I should be. I should have paid $70 for Starfield for what I got out of it. So yeah, I don't buy games like when they first release anymore. Like the next one I will probably buy right when it hits, just because they have a track record, is Subnautica 2. Subnautica 2 hits early access, I will buy it right then to play, because we've got a track record with Subnautica 1 and Subnautica Below Zero. But you know, I've got game developers who have sent me the offer for free keys to their games, which means I could get another game for free, you know, as long as I play it and show it with you guys. And while, you know, at one point I would have said, yeah, I'm going to do that, I'll just try out pretty much any game that fits. I'm not even doing that now. I'm like looking at the game and saying, this just does not look like it is in a good state right now. I don't want to showcase it in a bad state. You know, I don't want to do a live stream or video of it and then just have it be a case of people look at it and say, yeah, I think I'll pass on this one. It just looks immature. I don't want to provide negative promotion for a developer who's trying to get a game out. And I definitely don't want to promote a game that ends up being like we were talking about, basically abandoned, you know, or it's marked full release when it's not even half done because it's just a quick cash grab. I don't want to provide promotion to that and cause people to waste their money on the game. So I pretty much have been disregarding most of the game offers I've gotten recently, because I don't want to be promoting stuff that just I feel is not quite up to sufficient level. Because it's brand new developer, no games before, and you know, especially if the game looks like a derivative of Subnautica or something else like that, that's a red flag for me nowadays. Let me check this. I haven't checked it recently. Finally getting some more supplies going as far as alloy and such. I know what I need to get going now. Check my power after this. Make sure I got enough, but I should have what I need for some more extractors. I think it's time. Ooh, and I am, yeah, running out of room. let me check this, because now I should have... Yes. There we go. Still not done. Alright, I can get at least some more fertilizer finally. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more rooms. I'm running out of space. Power. That's right. I need... How much does that use? 164. Alright, let's make some more explosives. Let me check, see. 5. And I will need 12. There we go, that's enough. I can make the little micro purple reactor now, fusion reactor, but I need resources. I don't have pulsar quartz yet. I guess I could go try to get some from that cave. That. Yeah, let's go ahead and do... I'm gonna do a zeolite. Ooh, tree spreader. I need to do something for zeolite, because I know I'm gonna need that to get going, because pulsar quartz. Can I even craft that yet? But let's see, that's up here. For some reason, the biolab gets the pulsar quartz. Tree spreader. Alright, let's go ahead and do a tree spreader. Even though I really don't have like any trees. No, I do. No, that's tree bark. I don't have tree seed. I need the DNA manipulator. Alright. Of course, now, thing is with this, I also have that mod that will automate this. So to the Shanghai one, which means I need a mutagen. I've not made that, but I got... Oh, I don't have the methane. Great. Alright. Yes, alright, get me at least one methane. You know what, for what I will get out of it, for what I'm gonna need right now, one zeolite extractor should be enough. And I guess, yo, go do the go to that one cave out there. I should have... No, I don't even need to have like the oxygen for it. I can just go out there and build my little base. We'll go into the Gate Desert that I haven't been to yet. And I'll get the pulsar quartz cave, clear that out. And I'll make one pulsar quartz or fusion reactor. It's changed orientation. You used to be able to do it straight across here. Okay, well, now I can't do it the same alignment that I used to do. Alright, fine. As long as it works. So, one fusion reactor, a lot of power production, but I want to make sure at the least I keep hopefully enough for, I don't have it yet, but we'll get the teleporter. I won't be able to use the teleporter. Okay, grab this too. Ooh, around 3.5 hour mark. I feel like do a little bit more and we'll have to wrap it up. I got food to cook. And then I got work to do. Put all my goodies away. Actually finally getting a nice little reserve of silicon now. I'm not burning through all that stuff for super alloy. Oh, you still got plenty of that, plenty of that. Okay, so zeolite being produced. I think this one no longer, I don't think it works as far as the collecting part of it. Oh wait, that's right, I need Pastera and the bark. Yep. Okay. Boop. And yeah, I still have the mod that auto research. Not a big use of that on the trees. Like, I don't like to do a lot of tree spreaders, other than just to get things going initially. And I'll do the tier 3 spreaders later, but I tend to kind of automate those. Once I can, I'll use that mod to automate my larva production for silk and bee. Oh, we're almost to the, so I could do a tree spreader, I just don't have trees forming naturally yet. Come on, I want to beat it. I want to make trees appear before they're supposed to. Oh yeah, look at all that. Okay, so drink. Food-wise, I think I'll be okay. Yeah, we're gonna go. I'll go this way. And grab the supplies I need. Always good to do that while I am moving. We'll get the pulsar quartz cave so I can make one reactor. And that should help with that part. I was really wanting to get the drones today, you know, but I'm getting close to the autocrafter at least. So if I can get that, you know, at least I could set that up and maybe do it like something with the iridium, you know, expand my iridium production later and get it where I am able to auto produce the iridium rods. Ooh. Grab my flower. Oh, let me get my bearings. There we go. Wait, no, that's the is the base, not the cave. But I'll get some supplies. Better do it now while it's not underwater. Yeah, and unfortunately I can't break down that one. That is so disappointing still. I can't I can deconstruct the locker, but not the literal, you know, like, here's the reactor, the fusion reactor. Give me some pulsar quartz that way. You know, you can deconstruct heaters in the ships in the earlier stages when you need them, but you can't deconstruct that, you know, literal power, you know, fusion reactor right there. That would literally just give you what you need to make your first one. I mean, that's how helpful that would be. And you can't do it. I'm not gonna worry about those. I can stay there and look all fancy when I come back through. I just need enough pulsar quartz. Get me. I got 6. Yep. Okay. Wait. Ooh. Wait. What was that? How much was that? That was yeah, 5. Okay. So that gives me 1 spare. Yeah, I'll grab this real quick. More goodies. Go this way. Doing an optimizer, you know, with like the iridium. I could expand the iridium out, as I will eventually anyway, with, you know, a whole set of extractors, and then have my nice little booster there. Boost my actually, no, I need to do that with the super alloy. That would be the one to do it with. Sunken Land, I have not played. Stranded Deep, I played. Played it early access, and that was one of those games I really had to walk away from and just be like, this needs a couple of years, because there were some major bugs that were not being fixed. Like the fact that, I remember when I played, if you made a campfire and you went out of a range where it had to be re-rendered, when you came back, the campfire would no longer work. You had to build it again. You couldn't interact with it. You couldn't destroy it. You had to build again. I was like, okay, that's a broken, you know, game element. But when they finally, you know, pushed it to like full release and everything, it turned into a good game, you know. Definitely more tedious in terms of the building. Much like Green Hell is more tedious in terms of building because of the way it works. The forest, you know, if you're going to pick the forest or Sons of the Forest, I would go for the forest. Sons of the Forest, I am just in no way and never will be a fan of that setup for building. They could have done so much better They did so much better in the original game. You know, they just stuck with the styling of the original game. So if I was to go back and want to play something like The Forest, I'd play The Forest again. That would be my choice between Sons of the Forest and The Forest. Just it's this, you know, honestly, it's better story in The Forest. The build mechanics are much better in The Forest. I couldn't even come up with a reason to play Sons of the Forest right now at all. Like, I played it, did the story, you know, saw the ending, and then I was like, okay, that's it. That's enough. Won't come back to it unless they change the broken build system. I want to say broken, the frustrating build system, and make it more like the original game. You know, again, that thing we talked about. Give players a choice. Don't just force it on them. This is a case of Sons of the Forest. They forced a whole new system, and the players that want the old mechanic are just out of luck. If you don't like the new build system, don't play the game. That's pretty much what they did, and I don't like the new build system, so I won't play the game anymore. There it is. Methane. I guarantee I've got some. Yep, I've got some. Again, it won't collect from there. So there are some things the craft from containers will not work with still. But I get the air filter, which means it'll take a lot longer for me to run out of air. Also, I forgot I had that going. See where I'm at? Nope, I did not get it before the trees. Oh well. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get these all sequenced together. Okay, 91. I'm gonna wait for that to finish, and then I'll get it. Doing pretty good. I did not get to the breathable atmosphere, but I am on trees. Then we'll have insects. I feel like the insects, you know, should be after breathable atmosphere. Like, how are they breathing? Unless, of course, I guess, you know, being insects, they are breathing in smaller, you know, they don't need as much air in the atmosphere because they are smaller, so they can breathe, you know, it's sufficient. Like, we need more because we're bigger. Maybe that's what it was that they said we'll do insects next, you know, before the breathable atmosphere. But okay, I feel like I've made enough progress. I got my tier 2 at least. Definitely gonna take a little while to get to that, but I'm sure I'll get to that next week. I'm gonna do a lot of rockets this week. Oh yeah, the nuclear fusion generator. We're gonna get one of those at least. I'll just put it right here now. Boom! Tons of power. So yeah, I got power. I'm gonna do a lot of rockets this week. Try to boost everything up. I did not do the seed spreader rocket. I did plant rocket. I can do seed spreaders too now, so that might be what I focus on, is trying to get a lot of rockets going. And I am about to hit the auto crafter. That's good. So I will have that very quickly. I might do a little auto rocket thing for that or something, but yeah, I feel like I at least made to this point. I'm doing well enough. I'm getting way too much iron now, and finally using up some of that stuff. It's progressing. Again, if it was super fast, if I could just knock it out super quick and, you know, take me, what, less than 10 hours of game time to be ready for the Moons update and be able to do that, then this would have been a very short-lived game. So yeah, I feel like I've made some good progress. Probably won't get it to next week, so we might, you know, jump in my old save and just see if I can do a little bit of testing just to fly to the moon. But for now, for today, I've made enough progress. It's time to wrap it up. Timmy. Yeah, lazy butt. Look at that fat belly right there. Big old fat belly. So I said it, you're getting fat. Fat. All the chicken All those chicken nuggets. All right, so again, just to reiterate that at the beginning, I talked about this. While it has not officially been said it's a breach, you know, a independent cybersecurity firm did confirm that there is a large amount of Steam accounts that have been leaked out on the dark web. 89 million, I think it was. Steam accounts, information is out on the dark web. So it's recommended change your Steam password if you have not done it recently. Go ahead and do that. Make sure you got two-factor enabled for it, just as a precaution so you don't lose your Steam account and lose all your games. You know, good idea. Just go ahead and do that real quick. And then also, again, the Boons update is set to release Monday, the 19th. So yeah, that's why we're working on trying to get ready for that. Do the best we can, but next week we'll see what we can get through on my save and maybe just jump into an old save to try to get to the moons. Because we can do it from an existing save, that's not a problem. And while it is still this weekend, you've got, let me find it and I'll tell you exactly how many hours are left on it. But the game Foundry is currently free to play this weekend for the next 1 day and 19 hours. So for the next day and 19 hours, you can play Foundry for free. Try it out. See what you think. It's like Minecraft meets SAS Factory styling, destructible world, block by block, but you also are building a factory. And it's 50% off right now. That runs through May 22nd. So if you play the game over the free weekend and you like it, you still have a few days to buy the game at 50% off for $15 US. So it's worth checking out. I'm going to see if I can get some time in today or tomorrow, check it out myself. And yeah, but again, it's free to play this weekend for the next day and 19 hours if you want to check it out. I would highly suggest, if you like SAS Factory or you're looking at, you know, Planet Craft or something like that, and you like Minecraft, might be worth trying at least. But yeah, big thing would be change your Steam password. If you haven't done so, make sure you got two-factor. And again, Moon's update will be live when we come back next week for this. But for now, thanks for hanging out, everybody. No, Jason and Jenny left already. Felonious, I'm assuming you're still with us. And Sticks, I know you're with us. Trying to look back, see if anybody else was really popping in. We didn't see Kitsune Gaming this week. Yep, Felonious. All right, but yeah, as always, been fun. We'll do this again next week. Same time, same place. Go enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your weekend, and be safe this week. We'll see you next time.